14-year-old Aaron Schmidt lived with his much older half-sister. The Calahan family moved next door in May of 2010. Aaron played with the Calahan kids every day after school. Aaron's cousin says he was obsessed with the Calahans. 14-year-old Alana Calahan came home from school and found Aaron alone in her house. She told her mom about it, and her mother told him to leave the house. But a week later, he came back and he brought a loaded 9mm handgun with him. Alana was home alone, sitting at the computer, uploading some photos to Facebook. Aaron shot her in the back of the head, dragged her body out of the house, and left her to die in the woods.
This video contains the interrogation of a teenager who murdered his ex-girlfriend. Aaron Schmidt was at the home of his longtime friend Alana Calahan on almost a daily basis. It was a much-needed change from his rough home life, and the Calahan family had taken him in and treated him as one of their own. That changed when Schmidt and Calahan began dating. Calahan's parents were uneasy about some of Schmidt's behavior and became uncomfortable with the way he let himself into the house. They encouraged their daughter to break it off, which made Schmidt angry. Shortly after the breakup, Schmidt returned to the Calahan home during a period he knew Alana Calahan would be home alone. While she was on the computer, he snuck into the house and shot her in the back of the neck. He then dragged her body outside into the woods before running back down the road to meet Amanda Calahan, Alana's sister. He pretended to discover the body along with her and watched as she uselessly attempted CPR to revive his victim.
We haven't officially been introduced yet, so I'll go ahead and let you know now. I'm Brian Jones. This is Jimmy Edmonds. We're both investigators with the Sheriff's Office, okay? I know you already talked to Sergeant Clack and gave him a little bit of information, which is on this sheet of paper right here. So I'll kind of skip over a lot of this, except just say, I'll just verify you 1218 Miles Road.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Date of birth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know your social? If you don't, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to notate the day's date down here. And the time is about 7:25.
Yeah, that was late.
Seems like a little bit later. First thing I want to let you know, we're here to talk to you about what happened out there, Miles Road. I want to let you know right quick, you're not under arrest. You're not in charge of anything. All we want to know is just try to figure out exactly what happened from you. So, you were out there and you know the story. Your sister, Miss Chitty, is here. And Diana Chitty, yeah, she's here. We talked to her, and she knows you're here. And I just want you to know that she is up here, and we have talked to her and let her know that we're going to be talking to you, which she pretty well knew that was coming, okay? First things first, tell me what you know happened. I mean, start from the very beginning and tell me what you know happened.
When I went up to the road because I know Amanda comes down to pick her up when it's rainy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit rainy earlier. Well, I went up to the road and tell Amanda that I won't be able to come for 2 weeks because I got a restriction for 2 weeks. And I told her everything, and I was going back down to the house. And there's like a little gate right there, but there's cable hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw somebody run across it and was hardtailing it. So my uncle don't like no one on the land, and I have to get him off because, in the past there's people trying to start fires and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Try to plant something that don't need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went to go see where he went. I was looking around. I went to go see if Amanda knew where he went, if she seen him or anything. But when I went to go she had to go follow her. She was already halfway down the road with the truck to go pick up little Chase from the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went there, I said I can't catch up with her in that truck. And I just stopped, and I went to go turn around to go back to the house. When I turned around, I saw somebody kind of taller, because you know how far distant it looks like somebody's taller up in something higher, like on that back porch. Well, he was dressed in grayish, blackish pants, black boots, and a black jacket on.
Schmidt starts off by making up an unknown trespasser to blame for the murder.
And a black beanie on. and he saw me and looked at me and ran. He was white. He was a white man. He ran away down to the creek bank, and I kind of thought that was kind of dumb because there ain't nothing down that way except just dead end.
Mm-hmm.
Except a little bit of four-wheeler trails. So I went to go see if anything was gone or missing, because you know how somebody try to break in and go run away. I seen the chair knocked over, and I saw a bunch of reddish looking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Kool-Aid myself, because Amanda kept on saying it was Kool-Aid, and I said it didn't look like Kool-Aid.
Okay.
I went and looked out the back door, and I saw some, like drag marks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I seen that, and I saw a bunch of more red stuff, and I figured out that when Amanda came up, that Alana was missing. And so I went out and started helping Amanda look for her, and I found Alana out on the side of that road. Weren't you there? Was you there?
At the scene?
Yeah.
I mean, afterwards, yeah, I came up.
Where she was laying, all out, and I got Amanda. I got sick on my stomach. I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just grabbed the phone from her, and I was talking to some person talking about CPR, pressure on the middle of her chest 3 times and blow, and nothing was happening. And I kept on telling them there's nothing happening, except there's just a bunch of blood running out of her mouth.
Calahan's body was not visible, but Schmidt managed to find it right away. This was one of the red flags that let detectives know that he was involved.
And that's about it.
Okay. When you came up initially, when you first came up,
Yes, sir.
how did you come up to the house? To Alana and them's house, Alana and
I
Amanda's
just
house?
walked right up in their backyard because I go to their house frequently because we negotiate like with family because I go over there every day on a daily basis if I'm in trouble. Well, I just walked up and I didn't notice anything wrong because usually the front door is always open, but the back door, it was wide open. That's what I kind of thought was strange.
Okay.
And I went out and tried to follow and run after Amanda and try to wave at her stop, but I couldn't get her attention. So I went up to the house to see if Alana was still there.
Oh, hold on just a second. You said you came up from the trail, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're talking about that trail that you said leads. I mean, where does the trail lead? I mean, where are you coming from?
You know where the white pickup truck is sitting at?
Yeah.
Well, right there, that trail that leads all the way back there to a little gate.
Okay.
That leads in right in front of my house. That's why I seen that person running through there.
Okay. So you were coming from your house.
No, from the top of the road to talk to Amanda. Picking up Alana from the middle school bus.
Yeah, I thought you just said you came from your house up the trail and you were coming up that way, and that's when you saw the back door and all open.
No, I was coming up. When I talked to Amanda at the top of the road when she was going to pick up Alana because it was all rainy, well, I talked to her about why I can't go over there for 2 weeks, and that's why I ain't going to be over there. I was heading back down to the house, and Alana and Amanda was already headed down that way. It took me a little while to get back down to my house.
When you said the top of the road, where are you talking about at the top of the road that you saw?
Alana's driveway, Amanda's driveway.
Okay.
Because my house, a couple more houses down, a little bit further down.
Okay.
Because we made that little path back there once a couple of years ago because there's different people who live in that house. But they just recently moved there. And my aunt was living there and she had kids and the people behind her had kids and they cut a trail. They made a full four-wheeler trail and go-kart trail.
Okay.
Because all it did made a little U.
Okay. So you talked to them. How did you get from your house?
I walked down that main road and I saw somebody run across, I don't know if you know all the way down because I don't know if you went down the trail. Because, well, when I walked down there, I saw somebody just run and jumped over the cable and kept on running.
Okay.
And I went to go see who it was because I told you that my uncle don't like no one out there.
Okay.
So I decided to go follow him and try to see who it was. And I didn't find anybody.
Were you running after him?
I was trying to run, but I can't. My ankle. Because I kind of cracked it on top of my right there. I did something bad to it. I don't know what I did.
Okay.
And I tried to run. I couldn't. So I kind of sped walked. You know how to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, speed walk. And I tried to run down the road to try to catch up with Amanda and try to wave at her.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get her attention, so I just stopped and I turned around. But when I turned around to go back to the house, if Alana was there, just ask her if she's seen anybody. But that's when I saw that black dude, well, blackish figure in the back door, but it was actually a white dude.
Okay, is that the same person that you saw jumping the fence?
Yes,
Or
sir.
the
All
wire?
black. But with, like gray slackish pants.
Okay, so when did you first see this guy dressed in dark clothes?
When he went and jumped over the cable.
Which is where?
Down the road a little bit further. If you on the main Miles Road, kept on going, it leads you down to a stop sign that says take a right to Coon Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right there's a cable right there
Mm-hmm.
because we had to put it up because we was trying to keep people off it because they kept around their four-wheelers and stuff down through there.
Okay.
And that's where I seen him when I was coming around that corner. And I was looking directly down there, and somebody just ran and jumped over the cable and kept on running
Okay. Which way were they running?
down the trail.
From Miles Road?
No, down to the back, to on the trail, going upwards, down and somewhere in there, to Callahan's backyard.
Where were you at?
Yeah.
On the main road.
So you were on Miles Road.
Yes, sir. Walking down back to the house, and I saw somebody jump over the cord, and I just decided to follow them, try to see what they're doing. But I didn't see anybody else, and I went down there to see if Amanda or anybody else seen him. So I
I thought you turned around to get Amanda.
Yeah, I went to go to Callahan's house, but when I went to go to him, the truck was halfway down the thing to go get Chase.
The driveway?
Yeah.
So you saw her leaving?
And I tried to run after her and try to wave and try to say, "Hey, stop real fast," but I couldn't get her attention.
And that's after you came up through the backyard and saw the back door open and
Yeah, because I thought Alana was home.
But you said also that you didn't see where the black guy or the guy in the dark clothing went.
Yeah,
But you ran up and you could get all the way up into the backyard of the Callahans, enough to where you could see Amanda going down the road. But you didn't notice him then? You made contact with him
no, when I
on
turned
the
around,
road?
the Callahan's main road is,
Mm-hmm.
I was on that road and I turned around and I saw him, and he turned off and ran.
you saw him on the back porch, is what you said?
Yeah, on that back porch.
How could you see him on the back porch from the main road?
Because I was halfway down the driveway. You can see halfway onto all the way to that house because we haven't cleared it out.
On which side of the house?
On the back side of the house, in the corner.
I thought the main road.
Yeah,
in the
you
front
see
of the
the front of
house.
the house, but when you keep on going down a little bit further, you can see part of the back of the sides. Then the back door,
How far away from the house would you say that was?
probably good far ways, because all I seen was the black person, blackish.
You
But
saw-
I saw a white face.
You saw a black person or a white person?
I want to say black, but it's not because he's all dressed in black. But you can see his face; he's white.
And this is the same person who
Jumped over the cable.
jumped over the fence or the cable up towards your house, going down there that you followed.
Yes,
How
sir.
far in there did you follow him?
I lost his trails and I started looking all the way around down there. You know, I don't want to try to say that you know where I live and everything, but it's not. You don't. Well, if you keep on going down there, I was looking around in that field area,
Mhm.
see if he was hiding around in there, but I didn't see him.
So instead of just coming on up to the trail to the Callahan's house, what did you do?
I was looking around to see if he went down to. There's a creek down. If he kept on going down that way,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you know where that main road is, if
Mhm.
you kept on going straight, it leads down to a creek. Well, on my side of the property, we got a creek, and so I started glancing through there, and I didn't see anything like being run through,
Mm-hmm.
leaves being turned over. I didn't see none of that.
Okay.
Schmidt's story doesn't ring true. What did he expect to do once he had confronted the man? Why chase after him instead of calling an adult or the police?
So keep on looking. So I just kept on looking. I didn't see nothing else. And I went up there to go and try to get Amanda or Alana.
But when you come up from the creek, where did you come up from the creek at?
Out of that main area. I want to say there's 2 trails.
Maybe I'm having some problems here. I just want to make sure we're all on the same sheet of music.
Let me get some real quick.
Yeah. Here's some tissues down there. Let me grab that box of tissues down there. Just on this board, just for the best you can, indicate where the house is, where the road is, the main road, the link, and all this other stuff.
Alright. I gotta erase that then, because if you want the main of everything.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Calahan.
All right.
Well, there's their backyard. Well, there's this trail that leads all the way back here.
Mm-hmm.
That loops around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then leads out like that.
Okay.
And leads to my house.
Okay.
But that over here is a field.
Okay.
And that's my house over here at the end of the cable.
Okay.
This cable leads right here.
Mm-hmm.
A little like that, a little bit just like that.
Yep.
And it goes like that.
Yep.
Well, right here I got a thing down here. And this could be the Callahan's road.
And that's the road that runs in front of the house?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But it keeps on going down to the creek.
Okay.
Well, I got this trail that, I don't know, it goes everywhere. And it leads all the way down to the creek. Here's this one that goes all over here. It just stops because it leads to a deer stand. And this bottom one down the creek bank, it leads to their road.
Okay.
And there's a little trail that right here on that road that swoops around and leads right to their backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I came right through there. And it was really close to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went up there, but I couldn't catch up with Amanda because she was heading off.
Okay, so you came up from here?
Yes, sir.
So where were you at when you started?
Well, up the top of their road. Because tell Amanda I couldn't be able to go to their house.
Okay, and then you did what?
And I went right back down to my house. But when I got around a little curve, here is Miles Road. Because it keeps on going.
Mm-hmm.
On Miles Road, there's a bunch of curves and everything. When I went around one curve, I seen him jump over the cable and kept on running.
This cable?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And he kept on running.
Which way?
He kept on running straight. He didn't go off because he can't go off in Bob's yard because Bob, he'll shoot. I know he would.
Okay.
He's always up.
Okay.
He's always outside.
Okay.
And right on the other side, there's a fence
Mm-hmm.
until they hit Callahan's yard.
Okay.
And so he has to stay in that one area.
Okay.
So
what did you do?
So I just went right through the trails, and I just went on through here to this back trail.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped, and I didn't see nobody in their backyard or anything, but I noticed the back door was open. But I wasn't paying a little too much attention about it. Anybody trying to break in. So I just walked back, and there's that field. So I walked back, because right here, where Alana was sitting at, with her body, it leads right back here through the field.
Schmidt knows the area well and knew which spot would be best to conceal Callahan's body. It would be easy for him to describe a fictional chase.
Because there's this open area over here on the other side of the house.
Uh-huh.
Over here, there it leads another trail to that field.
Okay.
But I didn't go that trail because I don't know if anybody wanted me to go on that trail, because that's their property. So I just decided to turn it back around, and I go and scan around to that field, and I scan out through the bottom, through that trail, and just scanning out.
And you end up where?
And I ended up at the bottom of the creek, and I came up, and I was looking around, didn't see anybody. Then I went up. I know how you can go up the diameter and you lead to another trail.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived up here and went to the backyard and went to Amanda, tried to catch up with Amanda, but she was already leaving.
Okay. At what time did you see the guy on the back porch?
When I quit running for I don't know what time because
No. Where were you at?
up on that road, halfway up here.
And so you were already up here. You'd already done gone back out and tried to make contact with the man, and you were on up here.
Yes, sir.
Good ways, you say?
Yeah. Yeah, where you can see the back porch and the other porch in the back where the door was open at.
Okay. All righty. Okay. Got my head around that a little better. Okay. So after you try to make contact with Amanda, and you realize she's too far up the road for you to make contact with, you do what?
So I just stopped and I turned around to see if Alana was home.
Okay.
But that's when I seen that tallish, blackish dude, but he ain't black, he's white.
Okay.
But I seen his face.
All right.
And he just took off and ran down to this main creek.
Yeah.
He just
So
ran down there.
you're coming down you're coming down off this main road here,
Yes,
the
sir.
driveway, and you look and you see this guy on the back porch where?
Where the main door was open at.
Okay. So
That
he's
back
up by
door.
the back door, and you can see him up by the back door
Yes, sir.
from up here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We're near this open area.
Okay.
So I quit and ended because you can see it go a little bit backwards.
Okay, so where? And you said he ran, and where did he ran? You said
He
back
just
down
ran-
toward the
He
creek.
just ran down here to the creek. There's a
driveway?
little driveway down there.
So he ran from the back of the house,
Yes, sir.
outside yard, and down the rest
Down
of the
that.
driveway.
Yes, sir. Down to the
Okay.
creek.
And you went where?
I was looking to see if anything was disturbed because I wasn't going to chase him because I couldn't really run for him.
Okay, so where did you check for things being disturbed?
The Callahans, they leave their door open. All I do is open the door and say, "Hello, I'm here."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I did, but the computer chair was tipped over and I've seen a bunch of red,
Mm-hmm.
and that got me kind of worried and kind of thinking that something happened. But
Okay.
at first I thought Alana had done spilled her Kool-Aid and was running around, but no one answered, and that's when I kind of something popped up in my head that something bad happened. And I went up there and looked at the back door and looked around. There's more red and leading out to the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Amanda was coming back up. I was looking around, looking around the yard, and Amanda asked why I was still back in the yard. I said I seen somebody run up into my yard, that back area,
Mm-hmm.
and I was seeing if y'all was there, but I can't find Alana.
Okay.
And where did you?
Schmidt was so convincing that Callahan's sister believed his story. It wasn't until her own interview with the police that she began to notice the discrepancies. Here's a quick reminder that I have a Patreon page with a ton of exclusive and ad-free content, like this one about a predator that was exposed live on TV. His interrogation is definitely something you'd want to watch, and you can do that right now at patreon.com/Stranger Stories Plus.
Papa her in?
When she pulled up and came inside,
And
I was coming back in
coming back in which way?
from the front door. Because I was checking out through the creek bank to see if he tried to ditch your body. Because there's another trail right here that leads to the Callahan's backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the first thing I checked, and I just looped around, went back up to the house.
All right.
And that's when Amanda was already there.
Hang tight just a second. You're inside the house. Okay. You walk in the front door. What did you do when you walk in the front door?
I noticed, took off my shoes because you can't walk in the house with the shoes on the carpet because that's main rule.
Okay.
So I went out there and looked around, and I was looking around. I was too figure out with my shoe because I saw a bunch of red and I saw that black trail. But I was not even worried about the black trail. But I don't know.
What black trail?
There's like a black trail, but we take out garbage to take out to the burning pit
Mm-hmm.
to burn. Well, not garbage, but cardboard box and stuff like that. That's why I wasn't too worried about it until I ran down the trail and looked down that way, and I saw something bluish. And that's when I seen Alana, and I went up to see if she was all right, and she wasn't moving or nothing. She had all a red face.
So this is after you saw that you were in the house, you went out, you saw the drag mark, and then you went to see Alana, and then what did you do?
Well, Amanda was there at the time when I went outside again. Well,
Maybe you might have been getting ahead of me. I'm not sure because I think You're in the house.
Yeah, I'm looking
You
around.
take your shoes off. You go in the house. Say, I'm here.
Yeah.
You look around.
Yeah, I noticed that the chairs tipped over and a bunch of reds on the
What you thought
the
was,
shade.
you said you thought was Kool-Aid?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I said hello a couple more times and no one answered. And I looked out the door and there's a bunch of blood on the porch. Well, red on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's blood now because there is someone dead or wounded.
Okay. All right. So then what'd you do?
Then I walked out around the house and I didn't notice anything strange that way. So I decided to walk down their creek bank.
When you left the house, which way did you go? Front
Down.
door, back door?
I went out the back door and was looking around, seeing if I could see Alana. And I was out there barefooted, well, in my socks.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking around and Amanda was already pulled up and was coming up already in when I was looking around.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back around in the front, got my shoes on, and I said, I don't know where Alana is. Is Alana with you? And she wasn't with her, and that something pointed up. And we went out there and was looking for her. Well, Amanda got in the truck and was speeding forward to that back trail where I was showing you that leads up through here, because she said she didn't care about what my uncle said.
Okay.
She was looking for her sister.
Okay.
And then
Where were you at?
I was, where, well, this back trail, this is where Alana was laying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I ran this way from that back porch and was going down that way again. But when I turned around and walked out in front of that burn pile and was looking down that trail, and that's when I saw Alana. And I got an upset stomach and I was feeling woozy. And Amanda saying, where's she at? Where's she at? And I was saying, down that trail. And she's saying, which trail? The one behind me? That one or that one? I said, that one over there. And she seen her and she ran over there and called 911 and just started screaming and crying.
Okay. So when Amanda came in, where did Amanda come in?
To the front door.
And where were you?
I was down here, lowest down here in that trail.
Okay. How did you get out of the house?
Through that back door. That
Okay.
was open.
When you went out of the back of the house, and you were at the back. You were in the house. Where did you go? You went out of the back of the house, and where did you go from there?
I went over there to the computers and was.
No. When you came out, when you come out the back door, what did you do when you came out the back
I
door?
was just looking around, seeing if I seen anything strange.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went on down to that creek bank area, and I stopped and I just turned around right down here. I wasn't going to go fill a park down there anymore because I already been down there. So I just been up and went up to their house and went to the front door, and Amanda was already in there, was yelling for Alana and Chase.
Okay.
And I said, is Alana with y'all? And
Okay. So then what did you do?
I put on my shoes and I went out and helped Amanda look for her.
Who went out first?
Amanda and
Okay.
Chase.
Amanda and Chase went out first. You put your shoes on. You went out where?
I went back out the front door and I was looking out through here because she first went up to the top of the road, that main road again, and was looking out around and going slowly, just getting out through the side of the roads.
Okay.
And she turned around and was coming through here. And that's when I turned around and I went past that burning pile. I saw her.
Okay.
Where did you said you got sick? You throw up?
I couldn't throw up because I didn't eat anything today. I said just a few minutes ago in that man's room. Me and a couple of bags of pretzels.
So when Amanda she pulled it back here by this trail, right?
Yes, sir. No, she went through her backyard.
Right.
To my trail.
To back here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where were you at when she?
I was standing halfway in the front of that trail, right around.
So you were on the driver's side.
Well, you know where that burning pile is? That big old burning pile.
I know where her truck was.
Yeah, and right behind it is a big old pile of sticks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so her.
And I was standing right there beside it, and I saw something blue, and that's when I saw her.
And Amanda was already back here.
She was already starting to pull in, going that way, and she saw me turn around. She's like, "What's the matter?" And I told her why. And she's saying, where's she at? And I'm telling her, she thought I was talking about this trail, but I was saying that trail. And she ran over, started screaming and crying.
Calahan's sister went into shock at the sight of the body. She had only left Calahan for a short time, and she had no idea that Calahan would be targeted for such a violent act.
Let me ask you this. This is about really the only thing that's kind of, I'm not really sure about. When you looked out the back door and you saw what you said by then you knew was blood, and you saw the drag marks around.
We drag the garbage out.
Okay, but you said you already saw the blood. You had, by this time you had already seen the guy in the dark clothing twice. Saw him at least once at the back door or whatever. And you walk in and you see this blood and you see this drag mark leading to that trail over here. Why didn't you follow it?
Because I thought it was because a couple of days ago, me, Chase, and Little Paul, because they got another little brother that's got after school that comes at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we was taking out garbage the other day, going out around that tree. Because if we kept on going straight, there's like a metal chain out there that we can't hardly notice. But if we drag it over, it's going to rip open the bag and it's going to spill out all that garbage everywhere.
Okay.
So he's telling us to go that way, and that's when I thought, I'm used to that black mark. Not until...
I mean, I can understand a black mark as far as just a regular black mark that you've seen there all the time. But black mark, and the first part of the black mark is up on the porch. And what's up on the porch?
There's red blood.
Okay. I kind of don't understand why, if you'd already been all around that area of the creek.
Down here.
Well, you said you've been all over there. Looking.
Going down through here in that back trail.
Okay, but
you're in the backyard when you come out the back door, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you turn immediately and go back down the way that you just had already checked. I mean, you came from your house all the way down that trail, all alone, searching the fields, looking around, come all the way back up the front of the house and go all the way down, halfway down the driveway, look at that field, look through that field to see the guy on the back porch, apparently. Come back around, go in the house, come through the house, see the blood, see the drag trail leading right back around to the only area where you have not been. And what do you do when you come out of the back door again? You go immediately back down to the other area which you've already checked, which you said that you already knew he wasn't down there.
No, down here. I knew he wasn't down there. I did not check this one trail right to there.
Yeah, but I mean, is there anything that would have led you to believe that he would have hung around in that one trail? I mean, you've been all over that area all through there.
I don't know. All I did was check real fast if he was still lingering around the edge of the woods.
I mean, you told me earlier that you saw him. He ran down this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I had first seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the second time seeing him on the back porch, he jumped off the back porch and was running down through that way.
Yeah.
Down to the creek.
Down here. So you come out the back door to check to see if anything's missing or out of place, and you find drag marks that are out of place, right?
Well, I'm used to those black drag marks because that's what I was telling y'all about. I was taking out those
Okay, so
bags of
you saw him go down this way, and you're looking around to see why did you come over here?
because I thought he'll still be lingering around. Or I want to say left something, but he didn't.
What do you mean?
Like he's trying to linger around, trying to come back and get something. That's why I didn't double check it because I've never been on that one trail. So I just went down there and looked real fast, and I came back down this road. And I didn't worry about that part, so I just went back up to the house. The man was already in the house because she pulled up with Chase, and they went inside, and I went inside and got my shoes. And they asked if they seen Alana, and I said, no, have y'all?
Calahan was at the computer when she was shot in the back of the head. She was used to Schmidt coming to her house on an almost daily basis, so she would have been comfortable enough keeping her back to him.
that's when that thing went out. That's
Did
it.
you bother to tell Amanda at the time that she said, "Hey, have you seen Alana?" Did you bother to tell her about the blood on the back porch or the
Yeah,
blood?
she's seen it. She's seen everything. She's seen everything. She's the second person who went over there and looked at the computer area.
Did you say tell her about the blackish white guy that was on the back porch?
I told her everything. That's when she got in the truck and was going around.
Well, you told her he was on the back porch.
I told her everything.
The only thing I can tell you is I can understand most everything you're telling me. And you have to kind of go with me here on this. You know anything about how kind of this thing works as far as, crime scene investigations and all that kind of stuff? You know how any of that works? I mean, you ever seen anything like CSI or anything like that?
Well, I have, but I'm not really paying attention to it.
Don't really pay attention to it. I mean, I don't know if you like it or not, but that's, kind of part of this falls into that CSI kind of thing. No, we don't do it all in 1 hour and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it takes a little bit longer, but one of the things that we did is we had dogs come out. I don't know if you saw them or not.
And I saw one.
You saw one. There was at least two we had out there. And do you have any idea what those dogs do?
No, not really. All I know from one time from Jersey T last Thursday, we had like a little event for the military was showing off the dogs, little tricks they smell out, like weapons, stuff like that, drugs, bombs, stuff like that.
Yeah. And also ours,
and guard dogs.
people.
What we call tracking dogs.
Tracking dogs. And we had not one but two dogs go all over that area from the back of the house all the way back down that trail as far as they could go and back down toward the creek and all over that area. And you know one thing they didn't find? They didn't find a trail. The dogs kept kind of looping back around back to the house. And I'm trying to wonder if there was another person down there besides you that was leaving a trail down there that was doing all that running around that you said you saw him doing. Why wouldn't we have a trail back there for that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, sir.
The detectives are starting to point out flaws in Schmidt's story. Schmidt, rather than risk an explanation that would give away more, chooses to feign ignorance.
I can think of an explanation. I don't think. You can't think of an explanation.
No, sir.
Well, and even under the standpoint of they went over there in that area where Alana was and worked that area too. I would figure any area would be pretty hot and heavy on that, then they could pick something off of that. And weren't able to do that either. So I'm just wondering if maybe you could kind of fill in some blanks for me there on I mean, these dogs are trained. I mean, they're trained.
I know they're trained. They're trained to do their job.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I do know about the dogs. The dogs don't have to worry about back talking us, or the dogs don't have to worry about second guessing. Once you put them down there, they just run and smell.
But all dogs do.
Pretty much, other than eating or pooping, right?
Yeah.
But if I've got a dog down there and I've got not one, we think, well, maybe that dog's not having a good day. Because I mean, like people that don't have good days sometimes. Not always, not a whole lot, but sometimes they're, So we put two, just to be on the safe side. Did the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're not trying to say anything one way or the other. We're trying to get a big picture because.
Yeah, you trying to, because it kind of don't throw out a good picture because dogs can't get no scent.
Well, it would be different if it was some, maybe, because we've had that before. Well, maybe. I mean, I got all the way down as far as here, but that's about it. I'm talking about zilch, none, zero. I'm talking about running around down there all throughout that area where you said you saw this person running and nothing. I mean, the dog didn't even act like it was even
Either one.
neither one of them.
Because right where that fence is, I follows falling footprints. That's why.
And that's where I was going with it
too.
too, because they went down there and the handlers have somebody with them called a spotter.
Yes, sir.
What do you think the spotter's job is?
And see if he sees anything.
And to take care of the handler and make sure that the handler's concentrating on the dog. If the dog does anything that says, we got something here, the handler's going to see that. The spotter looks around the handler. So if he sees anything or anybody or anything of any kind of, significance, he'll know where it is and he can mark it. So in case they have to come back. Nothing. Not footprints, not nothing. And you know how muddy it was. I mean, you see all this mud right here.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it all over his pants, and you got a little bit of there too. But I was walking around and stuff, and I was trying to be careful, and I was stomping all through it. And I mean, there was all kind of footprints and stuff down there. But get off down in that muddy area down there around that creek, and there's nothing.
Suction cup.
Yeah, but there was nothing.
Schmidt did not plan well enough to lay evidence to support his story. He didn't even bother running along the route to break up the underbrush.
So unless this person evaporated,
Not in the system.
so what does that lead us? Where does that lead us back to?
It almost leads back to me. That's what mainly it leads to.
Is there any chance that maybe there wasn't that second guy, that other guy?
There wasn't another guy.
Well, I mean, but how, you just said yourself. I mean, people don't just
I know.
evaporate into thin air.
I know what you're saying, but I know I wouldn't hurt Alana.
Didn't think you would.
Because I treat her
No,
like my sister.
And that's where I was going to go with it. I mean, from what I understand, you're very good with her.
We've been good friends ever since she moved there.
Yep. I mean, did y'all date it ever?
At the first, but it kind of went out. So then we just became friends because she says if it don't work out, let's just be real friends.
Calahan's parents were troubled by some of Schmidt's behavior and convinced Calahan to end their romantic relationship.
What led to that? And led to be real good friends.
Okay. Real good friends. And from what I gather from everybody that I've talked to, that we've talked to, that's what they said. I don't think, by any stretch of the imagination, that what happened was something that was malicious. I mean, that's another thing that we can kind of tell. When we see these things, and we were trying to put two and two together here, we want them to add up to four.
Yes,
you
sir.
know? And it's just a matter of getting a few pieces of the puzzle together to kind of get there. And one of those huge pieces of the puzzle that didn't fit was that fact about the guy. But the other one is, we can kind of tell that this is not something that we think that was just a malicious deal. I mean, truth be known, it could have been an accident.
Yes, sir.
I mean, things could have happened, and it might have been one of them unfortunate deals. I mean, I don't know, there was a movie out at one time called Lemony Snicket's, a series of unfortunate events.
Not seen that.
I hadn't either. I just heard the title, and it kind of fits. Kind of in a series of unfortunate events. It doesn't necessarily mean that somebody went out here and planned to do this like some cold-hearted, callous person did, but maybe, just maybe, things happen in such a way that it was an accident. It didn't mean for it to happen. And, they happen, and we try to get past them. And, the person that, did these things is extremely, extremely sorry for it. And wants things to be different more than anything in this world wants things to be different. The only thing that I could tell a person in that situation would be what we know we can work with, what we don't know, we'll have to add our own thing to the equation and come out with four. And sometimes, that doesn't always look good.
Yes, sir.
So the only thing I'm telling you is, if you'll help me, I'll try to do everything I can to make sure that we keep this straight. and that we give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But certain things I don't think are adding up, and I don't want to wind up going out of here and giving anybody the wrong impression about things. Is there anything that you need to change about what happened?
No, it's not. No, I know that it's changeable because I know I didn't put nothing in there that I did. Because I can't do stuff like that.
You can't do stuff like what?
Try to hurt her. She's actually a nice person. I almost know.
Sure. Well, I mean, I get that, but that's what I'm saying. But if there is stuff there that says you were there, how are we going to get around that? Because there again, I mean, CSI, the way it works is we find things. Sometimes we don't find anything. Other times we find stuff. And when we find stuff, it's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
There's got to be an explanation.
You got to be. And there ain't but one explanation. Well, there's two explanations. There's what I can make of it, or there's what I'm told. And I'm trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt without trying to put words in their mouth or without trying to make anything of it.
Trying to think that something else happened, but
Well,
it didn't happen.
I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know.
What do you think happened?
I don't know what really happened. All I saw was when I opened the door, it said hello, I'm here. Because
What do you think happened to her? To Alana?
when I first seen her on the ground like the how she was, I first thought she was raped or something bad happened.
And you could tell this how?
Huh?
You said when you first saw her, you could tell that. How?
I don't know how. It's just where no one would just come up and just hurt her. She don't let anybody try to touch her inappropriately.
Okay.
It's one thing she don't do.
Do you think somebody might have been there and maybe tried to go a little further than what she was comfortable with?
I don't know.
Because quite honestly, that's maybe what I was kind of thinking. That, maybe somebody was there and maybe they were talking and cutting up and, one thing led to another and, things went a little bit out of hand. But there again, that's just kind of what I think. Could that be a possibility?
I don't know. That's all I saw was what I told you. That black person. Well, not black person because it's all
We've
black.
already pretty much established wasn't there.
Yeah, that's what y'all were saying.
Well, I mean, that's what the evidence is showing us.
Well, the dogs and everything like that.
Dogs, lack of footprints, lack of anything else that tells me. Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I could walk up there and I could see Nikes on the ground.
Well,
I could see lug
if you
soles.
go through my gate, you see boot prints. And you can see how they're running because at the front of the tip
We
of
had
the
officers
shoes,
that do that.
all the way to the cable.
Mm-hmm.
Schmidt had hoped that because of his age and the lack of obvious motive, the detectives would take his story at face value. They haven't, and he is going to have to quickly think up plausible excuses for their questions.
Because when I came through there this morning, the first thing went after was the footprints.
This morning?
No, when I was coming back from around that curve, coming from the top of the
You
road.
just said this morning. The first thing you did this morning when you went down through
Oh,
there
my
was...
bad if I said morning. Because this morning I went to school. Because the first thing I did was looking for footprints.
But Aaron, let me ask you this. What point would it be for me to sit here and try to trick you
There isn't.
There isn't none, right?
That ain't a job.
Then you look at me and you listen to what I'm saying. I'm not trying to trick you. I am absolutely not trying to make you out to be an idiot. Nothing. I'm talking serious business here. And when I tell you, there's nothing we've got right now to show that there was a man there, period. Nothing. Nothing. Trying. You saw those cars that were out there, right? There was more cars that you didn't see that were all the way up the road, both sides, all the way around. They had that area cordoned off because when they hear somebody ran, the first thing they want to do is set up a perimeter. There were perimeter cars set up.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody saw anything.
There's no footprints. And as muddy as it was,
There's gotta be.
there's going to be.
And on top of that, how would somebody know to come down there with just this blazing streak of luck to get down there and to get in and get out and get gone in 10 minutes? Because I haven't even really gone there yet. That's another thing that really just don't add up, buddy. It just don't. I mean, I can do a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but one thing I can't do is zip down a trail and do all that zippity-doo-dah and he supposedly did in 10 minutes. And you supposedly running all over there too.
I was looking everywhere for him.
But you never crisscrossed, did you?
I've never seen him.
You never seen him again after you said you saw him jump the fence and then you saw him up there at the back door. You never saw him again, right?
Not again.
He had 10 minutes. Believe me, I only know of one person that I know of that can make the illusion of that, and that's Chris Angel, the magician. But then again, I think that's all cameras and mirrors anyway. I don't really believe that he disappears.
I don't even watch that.
Well, and it's probably not worth your time anyway, because it's all a bunch of garbage, magic, junk. It don't matter to nothing. I'm talking about real world here. I'm talking about real world people here. You and I, flesh and blood, flesh and bone, that leave stuff behind us that tell us, we were here. And I go and we look all over that area with one and then another dog, and they don't find anything. And then I can't for the life of me figure out how he would have flown in there and flown out in 10 minutes, much less anything else.
Well, go back to this real quick. When you saw him, you came down through the path, was looking for him, and came back up to the house. And you came out, and Amanda was already going down the road, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then you go to the door and go inside.
Yes, sir.
Now, how? I mean, Amanda's just leaving the house. She hadn't been gone 30 seconds, let's say, because she's right there, still out front, right?
No, she's heading down halfway down the road.
A minute, two. I mean, it can take long to get there down that drive, right? A minute or
Yes,
two.
sir.
So she's just left the house a minute or two, and by the time you're there, so we don't even have a 10-minute time for this to happen.
Well, that's true too.
We're talking a minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah, at the
That
most.
she leaves, and there's nobody there. I mean, Alana's there. So she leaves, gets in the car, pulls down the road. You're showing up. So how's this guy already in the house? It's physically impossible.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? She just left. And when she left, this guy wasn't there.
And she knows this. She knows you were there, and you went directly in the house, and you didn't see him, and you didn't see Alana.
Calahan's sister was away from the house for a very short amount of time. It would not have been long enough for a stranger to break in, kill Calahan, and then immediately go to the best location to dispose of the body.
Nope.
So, there was no.
There was no
for
10 minutes.
Anybody to be there.
There was no time for anybody to be there.
It's kind of sounding like y'all trying to say that I did something that I know I didn't do.
We're trying to fill in. No, we're trying to fill
I
in.
know what y'all saying, but it's kind of saying that, like, it makes it sound like it's come directly back to me, like I did something wrong.
What we're trying to get at here is we're trying to find out everything that happened that week.
Which I'm trying to tell you, but
But if there's just, I mean, I know you're trying to tell us about this blackish white guy out there. Well, if he doesn't exist, I don't want to have everybody out here looking for this, non-existent person when they could be
I
doing
wouldn't be
something else.
sitting here right now and be telling y'all that about this person. I wouldn't be sitting here. I would have already confessed a long time ago that I did something, which I won't do because I don't do that. I don't.
You call from GSR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Him?
Yeah.
All right. Right-handed or left-handed?
Right.
Start that way.
Can you get both for me?
Huh?
Get both
Yeah.
hands?
I'll be out of here. I'll be right around the corner.
All right.
Unless you need one of us in here.
No, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
What's this?
Gunshot residue kit.
Well, it's gonna get it all over me.
Huh?
It's gonna get me all over.
Why's that?
Because just 2 days ago and yesterday, me and my cousin were target practicing.
Schmidt comes up with an explanation for any gunpowder residue on his hands, but he doesn't realize that there would be little to no trace after that much time had lapsed.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Well, what's your cousin's name?
Tommy,
Tell me what.
didn't
What kind of guns y'all shoot?
22
22. What, rifle or pistol or what?
rifle.
Nothing. You like guns?
Not really. I know they do bad, but
Yeah.
hunting with them.
It might just be the person that got the gun that does bad, maybe. How'd you get that on your finger?
I clipped my finger in a fence
Oh, really?
today. I was getting his dog collar because it snapped the other one.
Right.
So I went and got him a new one. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I got you. Well, look here. I'm not worried about you having gunshot powder residue on your hand.
Mhm.
It's when the powder that matches up that's on that girl's face
Mhm.
becomes back the same powder that's on that.
Yes, sir.
That's when we got a problem because all powder
Equals the same.
is not the same. They're all different.
No, I'm talking about whatever powder's on the same things.
If this powder right here that I just took off your hands, if it comes back as the same powder that's on that girl in there, then there's a problem. So it don't matter if you tell me you shot a gun yesterday. I ain't worried about that.
This is news to Schmidt, who is panicking internally because he knows that those traces will be a perfect match.
I'm trying to match what's on your hand with it's on that girl. And I'll know that in about 30 minutes. Put your other hand up here. You ever watch CSI?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I wish it was that easy. I wish I could solve something within an hour, even with the commercials. So here's what I would do if I were you.
I ain't tell the truth.
Can I finish?
Mm-hmm.
I would.
Because I got more than a 22 bullet residue on my hands.
What other kind of residue you got on your hands?
I got, because right after we shot that, we went and got a dude named David down the road from my house.
Mhm.
David and Tyler Hyman, because Tyler was over his house. So they decided to bring a couple of their guns with them.
All right. Well, if I need to go and find the guns that you know you shot and the residue is going to be in your hand, where are them guns at?
Going to be in my closet and in my uncle's closet in front of his door.
Okay. All right.
Get it?
Yep.
Oh. same closet.
All right. Let's see.
Where you watching?
We'll never get home tonight. Look here, dude. All I do is show up and take the samples.
Yes, sir.
But I'm telling you, science don't lie.
I know.
If what I've got right here is on that girl, and you've been sitting here not telling these guys the truth, and I have to go through all the trouble to find out about it, it's going to look a whole lot worse. So, you know, something's happened, it's happened, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, what sink you want me to do?
That man in the bathroom right away. Can you go over there? Yeah, I'll be in the bathroom. Hey!
Yeah,
Where's your phone, bro?
Thank you.
All right. Where we at?
You better real quick. Take your shoes off. Okay. Aaron?
Yes, sir.
You know there was another guy there, right?
It was.
Aaron? Aaron? You've been doing this a long time, buddy. Okay.
I know.
You've been doing this a long time. Okay. This whole thing just got twisted, turned around. Right? And like I said, the way we talked to you, we know you're not a bad guy. We know they brought you in the family, treat you like family. I mean, if accidents happen, we can, you know, that's something we can do. But you saw her mom when you were sitting out there. You saw what happened to you up there. Okay. First thing she deserves to know what happened to her daughter. No. As good as she's been, I think she deserves more.
I'm fine. I'll go out straight with you.
Please do.
But I was not the only person there.
Okay.
But I did not shoot the gun.
Okay.
I was actually trying to stop it.
Okay.
Well, I did see the person jump it, the fence and everything. I kind of did do that, but I went straight to the house. But when I went in, and a gun was shot. And when that happened, he pointed the gun at me, and I got scared. I'm sorry for lying at y'all.
Who had the gun?
Like I was saying, this tallish. I don't know who his true. I don't know his name though.
Listen. You just told me a few things online.
I know what's the truth, and I'm trying to give truth, but every time I try to say it right now, he comes right back down to me.
We know.
I was not the only person there. I swear to God, if I had a video camera, I would have put it on.
Let me see something. Let me see the bottom of your feet. No, lift them up. Lift them up. Lift them up. Okay. Here's yet another piece of the puzzle.
On top of my foot.
On top of your feet. How is it you get blood on top of your feet walking around on it in the floor?
I'm trying to tell y'all, but I just have to tell y'all that one part.
Okay.
Because it aimed the gun at me. I didn't know if it was going to shoot.
Where did the gun come from?
Huh?
Where did the gun come from?
So, I don't know, sir. He was going to aim it at me.
Let me
And
ask you
tell
this.
me the dirty word.
What kind of gun did it look like?
It looked like a 9mm,
Okay.
to be honest. Because how
Guess
it
what
looked.
we found as far as around that target practice area out there? Guess what we found?
What?
9mm casings.
What?
Around that target area that you said you and then with target practice. Remember, I heard you say it. You were target
Yeah,
practice.
but I never knew about a 9mm. Only knew about a
We
308.
We found some casings around there, so obviously we know there's a 9mm up there somewhere. What's going to happen if they find that gun? And it's got your fingerprints on it, And on top of that, it's got gunshot residue on your hand. How are we going to explain that?
I'm sorry.
The performance Schmidt puts on for the detectives isn't very convincing. He doesn't shed any tears, and his emotion is stilted, as one would expect from an inexperienced actor.
Oh,
I think
no.
you are.
I'm sorry, but I did not shoot her.
Did you see it happen?
Yes, sir.
How did
I
it
had to
happen?
ditch the weapon,
Okay.
You had to ditch the weapon?
sir.
Where did you ditch the weapon at?
It's over there near the dirt, those bushes near the truck. But I had to help him move the darn body. I didn't want to. I should have liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He kept on aiming the gun at me though, and telling me to do it. Saying that every time if I do snitch on him, he was gonna get me. I'm scared.
But he had the gun on you. But then you took.
Then he threw the gun down and ran.
And you had to ditch it, and then you ran out and you tried to look for him, and he was gone at that point.
Yes.
Why would you tell Amanda?
Because she was trying to say I was being bad. And trying to hurt Alana.
The detectives don't believe there was a stranger involved at all, and they certainly don't believe someone coerced Schmidt into helping them dispose of Calahan's body. If that were the case, why let Schmidt live if he could identify them?
How would that be?
Oh, no, sir.
Was there an accident?
I know.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. The only way we're going to do anything as far as trying to explain to Alana's mom what really happened is for you to just go ahead and let us know what happened. And that way
I'm telling you right now, the God.
you're telling us some. But listen to me. It's not all. It's not all.
I did not pull the trigger.
But
I
like I
walked
said,
in as soon as it happened.
so if we find the gun and we find the fingerprints on the trigger and we find all that stuff, it's yours. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And the blood's on the outside of your socks.
I know
Did you
because I
move?
took off my shoes and I went there and helped that dude and I moved the fire.
Mhm. But the blood's on the top of your feet. So I mean, I can.
I know because I had to lift up the body.
Why didn't he do it?
He said he didn't want to get any blood on him.
Who was he? So we can.
Who?
I don't know if it's gone on a shoot. I don't know him. It was some kind of short, fattish, brownish person. He ain't
But
too short.
You just said before it was a tall black.
I know, but I had to say that so he don't get on me.
But if
I
you
know
don't
who he is, though. I know who he is, but I don't know his name.
Where does he live?
He's the guy who likes shooting all his weapons down the road.
There.
Y'all probably think I'm lying about it. Crying.
Aaron, I don't think you're lying. I think you're scared to death.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're trying to figure out a way to make some sense out of what happened. But there ain't but one of two ways I can look at this. And you go with me on this. We all know, sitting in this room, there was no second man.
There was.
Listen to me.
I'm not lying about the guy, though.
Listen to me.
I did not stand there making up this lie
listen
about
to
this
me.
dude standing there with it.
Listen to me. Aaron, are you going to listen to me? You gonna
Yes,
listen to me? I can tell you, with every bit of certainty of us sitting here, just like he can, there was no other man. So this boils down to one of two things.
It leads right down to me.
No, listen to me. It is either somebody that went over there with the intention of hurting Alana, and this was a premeditated, cold-blooded deal, or the only other thing it could be was things got a little out of hand and it was a complete and total accident. And that person that did it is scared to dang death right now trying to figure out how to make it right. It's one of the two.
I wouldn't hurt her, not when
Not purposely.
Not purposely.
No, I never will hold a firearm without an adult. That's the main rule. I'm not supposed
But
to.
you know one thing that I know that most people who do stuff like this don't do?
Don't leave
Look,
him.
I mean, I've got 20 years in, just about. He's got right behind me about 16. We've been doing this a long time. And one thing that I do know about people is they don't do the dirty work and then hold somebody else hostage for the most part and make them do all the cleanup and all this other kind of stuff and then turn you loose knowing you know them. There would be two people out there laying in that
No,
field.
there wouldn't, because
Yes.
I was gone when I set Alana down.
He would have never let you do that.
Because when
If you'd have walked in and you saw what you saw, you would have been laying right there next to her. Aaron, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's much I know. If he's already done it once, he's not going to have witnesses.
And I've already explained to you there wasn't enough time for anybody else to be in that house.
there was,
No.
I'm telling the God honest truth about
No.
this, though.
I don't think you are.
Yes, I am. I'm telling you everything I know right now. I'm
No.
laying my cards on the table like the guy said at the police officer.
I've had them lay their cards down. I've had them swear on a stack of Bibles high as my mama's head, swear on my mama's grave.
I'm not scared. The only thing I'm scared of is he coming back for me now. If we have a search
we are not
warrant
going to let that happen.
out. I'm
The
not
one thing
scared
that I think
about
you need to
having
be
that.
one thing I think you need to be concerned about though is people that I think you're forgetting about this is
I know their parents. I
her
know.
parents are scared of what?
I don't know.
Her parents are scared of this guy here running around in the woods, this maniac running around in the woods. If you know there's not a maniac, I've got to let them know that because in addition to what already happened, I've got to be able to tell them, look, you're safe. I've got an obligation to keep her safe and him safe just like I do you, right?
After callously shooting his longtime friend in the back of the head without remorse, it is highly doubtful that Schmidt cares about the feelings of her family.
And those little boys.
And those little boys. You got to level with me, but you're not leveling with me. And I don't know how that's going to look. Go ahead and get it off your chest, one way or the other, and let's deal with it.
I'm
Because
trying to get it off, but y'all saying that I'm
almost-
lying.
I'm not saying, have I called you a liar?
No way, how y'all saying? Because
Have
my
I
sister
called
does
you-
this to
Have I
me.
called you a liar?
No,
And I
sir.
won't. All I'm saying is, I've got a family over here that's upset, and they are scared to death.
Yes, sir.
And you're telling them that there is some maniac out there running around in their woods,
Just
randomly just going out there killing people for no reason. How are they ever going to sleep at night again?
I'm telling y'all, there was another dude. I'm not saying I was not there alone. I know I watched it.
Don't need to go get Tom.
Tommy won't know nothing about it.
Will you tell me where he lives on Miles Road, and I will go find this guy right now, and I'll lock him up right now.
I can tell you where he lives.
Where does he live?
He lives, you know where Elephant Drive is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, down that, first you go down there, and you turn to the right. That leads you to the little house that leads to a little red Jeep. He's got a buttload of dogs.
A buttload of what?
Dogs. And he goes out there just randomly shooting anything with automatic weapons.
Okay.
I caught him on my property for no reason one time, and he aimed an automatic gun at me once.
Since the detectives won't believe there was a stranger, Schmidt tries to drag an innocent man into his lies. This still doesn't explain the lack of tracks in the woods or any other evidence of a person other than Schmidt near the body.
Okay, so when I go down there and we pick this guy up, and we are ultimately not able to tie him to this scene, what's going to happen then?
It doesn't matter if you can't. It all will lead right back down
Oh,
to
but
me.
it does matter if we can, though, Aaron.
Because he's
You
going to
talk
say
about,
he
you
won't.
you're going to talk about laying cards down? We're laying cards down now. This is how it
I'm
goes.
laying all my,
You laid all of yours down, and I'm going to lay all mine down.
I'm laying all mine down
Okay,
right
then
now.
I'm going to lay all of them down, and I'm going to tell you right quick, the trump card that we've got is your story does not make sense.
That's exactly what y'all are saying.
That's
I'm trying to tell you what.
No, what you're doing is every time that I ask you something or every time I point something out, you try to make it fit.
not going to.
It's not going to. Nothing that you say except what happened is going to fit.
That's what we're trying to get you.
That's what we're trying to get you to understand. Plain and simple. You can sit there and talk about dwarves dancing under the rainbow. It ain't going to change the fact that it's not going to fit. Period. The crime scene does not lie. Period. It does not lie. It's only for you to understand.
And I want to be able to tell her mother something that might possibly be able to fit.
It's not going to compliment her. She's going to hate it. Oh my God. I didn't want to do anything to harm her. I didn't want nothing to harm her.
I believe that.
Yeah, we do. You can look at this whole situation and tell that. So why don't you tell us what happened?
I'm telling y'all, but y'all are saying that makes a big bogey, almost a myth right there.
So
Because
if you know in your heart of hearts, if you know that what I'm saying is the truth, why would you keep hanging on to it? Why are you going to keep hanging your hat on something that you know? You can lay all them cards down there.
No.
But ultimately, I'm going to lay my hand down and I'm going to win the hand. Think about it, Aaron. Think about it. Think about it long and hard. Everything that you've said up until this point. And we told you at every step of the way which way it doesn't make sense. And you know it doesn't make sense, but you're going to keep hanging your hat on it. We're already at a point now to where we're almost there. The last breakthrough is you. And that could be the ticket Investigator Evans is talking about being able to tell her mother. Period. We're asking you to help.
Talking to her mother, I don't think she'll hate you.
Mm-hmm.
She will.
Well, she doesn't understand the truth. You know, the mother can do that. I tell her.
I can't think of anything like that.
I want to tell her the truth.
You got to, buddy. You got to.
Alana doesn't really.
She does. If you don't think about Mama, think about Alana.
Okay. There's this boy named David Mathis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of psycho, a little bit like that. He told me a couple days a week, or kept on telling me that Lana likes making fun of him, making gestures, and he kept on making fun of him and everything. And he wanted to kind of get back to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she kept on humiliating me in front of this girl that he kept on trying to hit on.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to scare her a bit. And he went to go in there and go scare her. I didn't know he was going to do anything stupid.
Schmidt keeps piling on lie after lie in the hope that adding specific details will make him sound more credible.
So what are you saying?
It's hard to say because I know it's going to lead back to it's going to be on me.
So are you trying to say Dave Mathis is the one that shot her?
He came all dressed up and gave a punch. And then we kept on hitting the side. He said, let's just start her up and scare her. And he kept on banging on the side of the house. Well, He was, and I would go up and say, Alana, are you home? David wants to say something, and he didn't say it when she didn't want to go out. He went in there and was talking to her, and he kept on doing this, that, and the other, and them two was yelling at each other for a couple of seconds, and he did something stupid.
Schmidt is so invested in his story that he has forgotten that there would not have been time for any of this to happen.
They were fighting, arguing with each other. Then what happened?
He pulled him down the elevator, but he didn't pull it out. He was sitting over there on the parents' dresser because he was running around at her house. He went in there and got it.
He went and what?
He got it once to go try to scare her, and he shot him out. He accidentally shot her.
When did this happen?
I didn't know he was going to do that stupid stuff.
Are you talking about at the same time that we're talking about this has been going on? You talk about you came up with him as Amanda was driving off and y'all were beating on the trailer and doing all this stuff?
No, he was halfway up already ahead of me. But I already knew who it was. Alright? I didn't know he was going to do something retarded and crazy.
Where did he go?
He went straight to her house.
Where did he go after?
He went back down to his house.
Where's his house?
Right down the road from mine.
So how did he leave her house to get to his house?
He ran down the way we came up.
Which is up the trail?
Yes, sir.
But we pretty much told you the dogs ran that trail.
Not that trail. This one trail this one right here. You took this sideways to the woods path. He took that and took Bob Oliver's and went right back to his house.
Where'd the gun come from?
He got it off of Mr. Paul's dresser. Because it's supposed to be for safety. Or something, or whatever. I didn't really know about the gun until he pulled it out off the dresser. I wasn't
Y'all were
paying
going
attention.
over there to scare her.
I was going to go over there and tell her mom, tell them that I wasn't being able to go over there for 2 weeks. And he was just there to just do some fiddle farting around.
That's well, and I'll be honest with you, that still does not add up. But that even makes you look twice as bad.
I know.
Because you could have warned mom off or sister off, and you didn't. I don't think that's what happened. I don't know. I don't know what else to. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do. I'm trying to get you to understand something here.
I know my hand's going to be on that gun because
The bottom line is you're all over this whole thing, period. Not just the gun, the yard, the house, the road, everything. You're over everything. You, Aaron, are over everything. Nobody else is over everything. You're forgetting there were other people in that yard too with you. The dogs kept tracking back to the same spot, which is in the backyard. Kept running around over here, running around trying to find other stuff, and they couldn't find other stuff, and they ran back to the front yard. Why? Because nobody left that backyard, Aaron. Nobody left that backyard. If anybody left that backyard, those dogs would have made a beeline off of it and ran through the woods over there because they ran that way. They looked that way. But they kept coming back. Why? Because the person didn't leave. There was no time. It does not add up.
Your parents are the only ones on the gun, right?
Yeah, because
You're the one that dragged her outside.
Yeah.
And dragged her over there.
And might I add, you said, oh, you just thought it was a garbage trail. Do you really want me to go tell her mother that that was a garbage trail that was drug over there?
No, sir.
Okay, then. You see what
I
I could
didn't wanna
say?
hurt
Somebody
her.
drugged this around here like a bag of garbage. Her daughter was drugged around here like a bag of
If
garbage.
it was an accident, it was an accident. But you got to tell me.
Dude, you got to tell us. If it was an accident, let's sit here and
If
quit
you were
talking what it
playing a
is.
game, or if it was a game or something.
Whatever happened. But stop on this, some other dude did it. Man, everybody tries to say that. And everybody that said it, it don't wash.
All of the evidence points to Schmidt, but he is young enough to believe that he is smart enough to come up with a story that will account for everything. With each retelling, he makes himself look worse. As weak as it was, the lie was more believable in the beginning.
I told you, it's not going to add up. You can say it, you can try to believe it, but you know it doesn't add up. If it was an accident, say it was an accident. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm not trying to trick you.
No, but it's going to end up as I.
You don't even know what's going to happen any more than I do.
I don't want her to hurt her feelings.
You don't want to hurt whose feelings?
Her feelings.
Alana's?
Her mom.
Her feelings are already hurt, Aaron. How much more hurt could they
But
be?
I didn't mean to hurt her.
All right, then what happened?
She was goofing around and I was goofing around. But first I went over there to tell her that I couldn't be over here for 2 weeks, like I was saying. And because I know Amanda kind of a little bit forgets stuff when she's doing a lot of busy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, and she said she wanted to go outside and let's go and do something. Well, I didn't know the gun was loaded.
Okay. And what happened?
And she was acting like she was pulling the trigger. And I said, don't do that.
Okay.
And I took it away. And I went to go try to go put it up so I can go leave. And it went off.
Schmidt is getting desperate and clutching at straws. The forensics show that Calahan was sitting down with her back to Schmidt when he shot her.
Where was she at when it went on?
Over there where the computer was.
Hmm?
Over at the computer.
How close to you when it went on?
I had it right there in my hand. I was grabbing it to take it away.
So you were right behind her when it went on?
Right in front of her.
Right in front of her? She gets shot in the face or in the back of the head?
He got shot in the neck. All I know is she got shot. She fell over the back of the chair and fell over.
Not sure she was shot in the back of the head.
I didn't know if she was shot in the back of the head or not. All I know is the gun went off. And she went flopping down.
And she was in front of you, and her head, back of her head was facing you, right?
No.
Hmm?
Well, you making it sound like I tried to shoot her in the back of the head.
We're not trying to make it say that's what the evidence shows, buddy.
I know.
So if you know that, then why are you saying we're making it up? We're not. That's
No,
what it
but
shows.
I didn't aim it at her head at all. All I did is grab it, and it went off
Where were you at when you grabbed it?
right in front of her. When I grabbed it, the gun tilted up, and when it tilted up, it went off.
Hmm.
And it got her. It got all over me.
Yeah, sit tight just a second, okay? You want something to drink or?
No. I want to go to the bathroom.
Okay, go to the bathroom. Come on. I'll walk you around to the bathroom. I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as we can make it, okay? Because I know we've been here a while, and I want you to understand from this point forward, I only want you to tell me the truth, okay? I don't want to rehash any of this other stuff that we've already talked about that may not necessarily be the truth. I want you to only tell me the truth, okay? Starting from the beginning, what happened today?
Well, I told you about the thing about me being on restriction and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went back down to the house to tell Alana in case because sometimes men do forget.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to tell her, and well, because the other day the door was left wide open while Amanda and Miss Betty left,
Mm-hmm.
and I came in and I sat down and waited for whoever to come in. She said if anybody does break in, I want to know how to like use something, how to defend because
Mm-hmm.
she don't know how to use it. Well, she, like I was saying, she grabbed it and everything, was still fucking around with it, and I said, don't be doing like that, 'cause I don't know if it'll go off. And when I grabbed it and went to go put down the hammer to go back up, and didn't want to go back up, and
Mm-hmm.
just flew up and it went off and it shot out of my hands and hit her.
Okay.
Callahan's fingerprints should have been on the gun if this scenario was true. If they were not, and even if Schmidt had had the presence of mind to place the gun in her hand to get the prints, there are ways of determining that as well.
When that happened, you said Alana was talking about wanting to learn how to shoot. Is there stuff that was going on out there that scared her? I mean,
She didn't want to be home by herself, and she wanted to know how to use the pistol.
Okay. So there's this pistol that was laying. Where was the pistol at to begin with?
Just laying underneath a bunch of hats.
And where at? I mean, you said she was.
Near
Where
her
was
dad's.
she?
She got up from the computer from on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
and went in the bedroom and got it. And I said, I don't know if I should or shouldn't.
Okay.
And she started fiddling around with it, doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because it pulls back and does that. Well, it had that hammer down. I said, don't pull the trigger because it may go off because the hammer's down. I don't know how to put it on safety, nothing that, because I didn't even know about hardly how to use this gun.
What kind of gun was it? Do you remember?
A 9mm.
Do you remember what kind? I mean, as far as what did it look like?
It was probably that big
Mm-hmm.
for the barrel,
Mm-hmm.
and probably the stock that big.
Okay. Black?
And,
Was it blued or was it stainless or silver?
Silver.
Silver. Okay.
Stainless silver.
Okay.
And it had a pullback hammer.
Okay.
And when she pulled it back, I didn't know how to use the gun. I'd already told her that because she asked me twice already. Because this would be the second time I told her no, I can't. Because I don't know all the gun safeties about that. And when it went off, it nailed in the head, and I got very scared. I didn't know what to do.
Okay. Where were you at when the gun went off?
Directly behind her. I was trying to get up on the table so if it did go off, it won't hit me or hit her. But when I try to pull that trigger back, ease it back up, the gun slid that way just a tad bit and went off. Because it slid off my hand.
Okay.
And it went off.
All right. Let me ask you this just for general principle, just to cover this, because I don't want. Had you and her been having any problems?
No fighting.
Was y'all arguing about anything? Was she on Facebook saying anything to anybody?
No, we're
I'm not
good
gonna have all
to
her
everybody.
friends. I'm not gonna have all of her friends coming back knowing she just got through saying that he was over here and he was aggravating the snot out of her and blah blah blah.
No,
I mean, I know his friends will do that.
I know.
They'll come back and they'll, she was talking all this trash about Aaron was bothering all this other kind. Wasn't gonna be none of that, right?
No, sir.
Okay. So if we check
I'm
with
nice to her
Facebook,
and I'm nice to her.
okay.
Well,
So if we check
I'm
with
nice to her and
Facebook,
she's nice to me.
if we check with Facebook and pull that mess, we're not gonna find on there where she's talking any trash about you.
No, sir.
Okay. So this is strictly a platonic thing between you and her. Now, when I say platonic, friends,
Yes,
as
sir.
opposed to you weren't involved with her romantically or anything, or
No, sir.
wasn't trying to carry it someplace romantically, and she said no or anything.
No, sir.
None of that. There's
No,
no
sir.
way possible that could be.
No, sir.
Okay. So she just all this. I mean, has she been talking to you about this gun before, about wanting to shoot it?
Yeah, because she said that her dad got a new pistol by Bruce, and I wasn't really too worried about it
Mm-hmm.
because I know I ain't supposed to touch them, not unless without an adult around.
Yeah.
Well, she went in there. Well, she knew where the guns are because they're sitting right there beside her dad's bed,
Mm-hmm.
well, up against the wall, with a 308, and the pistol was sitting underneath a bunch of hats, just sitting there.
Which obviously you've seen that before, right? Or did you
Yeah.
go in there with her when she took it out?
She went in there and just got it
So how did you know it was on all the hats and all that stuff?
because he put it there before he left to go to Michigan.
You saw him put it there?
No, I want to say try to. When you take it apart and put it back together, what are you doing?
Cleaning it, disassembling it and cleaning it and put it
Yeah,
back.
that. He was doing that and he went to go put it up because he wanted some help hold his bolt, and I helped him to hold his bolt.
Oh,
And he was assembling it and he put it up.
Okay. And you saw where he put it. Okay.
Yeah,
So she went in there and got the. What time was this about?
Probably a couple minutes before, not minutes, but probably about.
This might help you out.
Yeah.
Remember this. You went earlier and you saw Amanda up at the end of the driveway, right? I mean, tell me, is that?
Yes, sir.
And you told her that you won't be coming around for a couple of weeks because you're grounded.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we'll go from there.
Well, I remember that sometimes Amanda does forget because she's all the time really, really busy.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll forget things because the boys, they kind of don't do their homework right. And Amanda's on them 24/7. So I went up to Alana because Alana does not. All she does is on Facebook every day. She comes in and just do that. Because
So I'm thinking when you left from Amanda, where'd you go from there?
straight back to my house.
Okay.
And I was watching a little bit of TV, and I remembered that sometimes Amanda does forget. I didn't want to Miss Betty think that I'm not over there because I don't want to be over there.
Mm-hmm.
This version is even worse than the others. Calahan's actions make no sense, and there still wouldn't have been enough time for all of this to happen. It is also unlikely that Calahan would have brought the gun without knowing that her sister would be returning at any moment.
So you did what?
I went over there and went to go talk to Alana, and Alana was on Facebook doing something with pictures, changing them out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came in, and she said she wanted to use this, that, and the other, or get how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I told her I probably can't because I probably don't even know how to even use the darn thing. And she said, "You probably do. You probably do." And I'm like, "No, I probably don't. If it's a pistol, I don't. If rifle, I do because I'm an expert at rifles. I know how to take them apart and put them back together."
All right.
And she went in there and got it. And when she pulled out the hammer, I didn't know how to get the hammer back up. I tried to ease it up slowly, but
So you had it, and she sits back down in the chair and is back on Facebook.
yes, sir.
And how far behind her are you?
Probably within 5 feet away.
Okay, I'm sitting in the chair again. All right, this would be her.
Yes, sir.
Were you standing up?
Well, there's a table behind her, and I was standing up and trying to ease that trigger up, and I had to set the gun down
All right,
because
stand up behind me and show me. I just want to see how far away.
way how you are,
Mm-hmm.
probably a little bit further back because there's a bunch of boxes right behind us where Miss Betty's got packed up. While I was doing this to get it down right, and I set the gun barely on the table, and I went to go move the hammer barely up, and it slid out of my hand and went off, and Alana just fell over forward.
She fell over forward on the computer.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Yeah, I got scared and I was scrambling around. I was trying to. I thought I was gonna be in deep trouble. I thought I may be going to YDC because people think I'm trying to go out there and trying to kill somebody, but I'm not. I was trying to be nice to her, not to, but the darn thing went off and it popped her.
Popped her. So what'd you do? You took the gun, you put it in your pocket. What'd you do?
No, I grabbed it and I just threw it down on the outside. I'm like, "Oh no, Amanda's coming real soon. Oh no. I was just, when you're losing it for a minute or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened the door because she already fell forward and fell out of the chair, and the chair was laying backwards. All I did was open the door and try and drag her out, but I can't really drag her. She's kind of heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just quit.
You quit where she was at?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just left her alone, and I just went and tried to hide the gun, and I went to go I wanted to go inside to get my shoes, but man had pulled up and was already going inside. I went inside to get my shoes, and I had to make up something or she would have been all over me like white on rice.
What did you say when you came in?
What I told y'all.
And when you got your shoes and stuff and you ran back out, she went, Amanda went and got in the truck. Where'd you go?
I acted like I went down in the woods, and I turned around. I acted like I was seen her, but I felt like puking when it did happen. I couldn't. I was bawling and everything. I didn't mean to do it.
One thing I got a question about, and I watched what you were doing over there. Investigating residents couldn't see you. But you said when you had the gun, you said she was fiddling around with it. And you said she cocked it.
Yes, sir.
And you were saying, whoa, I don't know about that. I don't know. Well, you can figure it out. No, I don't know if I can. Hang tight. And you said you stepped in behind her to try to let the hammer back. And the way you were doing, when you said you was behind investigator Evans, correct me if I'm wrong, you were standing here, then I'll just say his back is to me like this, okay? You said you were back here like this at the table, and you had the gun down here like this, trying to let the hammer down, and it kind of slipped and went like that and went off, okay? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Is that kind of what happened?
Yes, sir.
The only thing that I have a question about is the gunshot, from what I've been told, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, went from up down, which meant you had to be above her for it to go the way it did.
I wasn't. I was right there on that table.
Is it possible that you were closer or any way, shape, or form could have had that gun higher than what you're saying?
No,
Because
I was right there beside. Well, that little thing, I went to go try to sit down, but I couldn't because it's corner. So I just stood up, and it went off, and it bounced and hit the table, and it scared me, of course, because it sounded like a 30-30 going off, even though it was a pistol. I just threw it down for a minute and was dancing around, and Alana just leaned over, making a thing like that. And she just leaned forward and leaned over and fell out of the chair, and the chair went with her.
Okay.
Schmidt keeps having to readjust his story every time the detectives mention new evidence.
Was she making any noises when you took her out?
Quit moving.
When she was making noises right after it happened, moaning and stuff? Did you ever think about calling 911?
I couldn't. They don't have a house phone. I don't got a cell phone. My cell phone minutes got used up for my sister.
Why didn't you just go ahead and tell Amanda when she got back down there? Something incredibly bad has happened. I don't know what the crap to do, but I need help. She needs help. She's right here. Please, God, help me.
Because I didn't want her to act like God did. I don't know. I had a lot on my mind. I thought they was going to hang me with my cuts.
Well, only thing I can say is I think they would have probably not liked it more if we kept up with this whole deal about some other guy running around. Of course, that's just me. Are you sure that there's no way because like I said, one of the things we're going to have to do is collect evidence from her.
Because you know where the window, I don't know if y'all went in.
I got a basic idea.
Well, the table was right here, and there's chairs. So I went over here by the window, right there near the computer chair. Well, not really near it, because she scooted up really close to the computer. Well, the glass door, and when I went to go do it, it hit the table and it bounced off, and it went off. And when it went off, I threw the gun down. Like I was saying, she'd made that sound, and it scared me because, of course, it did happen because that's what I was afraid of did happen. which it did, and then I got even more scared.
But what I was saying is, if we go and we collect evidence from her that says that that shot was this way, as opposed to like you're talking about here, or this way, how do we figure that out? I mean, you didn't walk up behind her.
Let me just say, this is the table, and here's
Okay.
the window.
All right.
Well, this computer chair, but it's a little bit further that way.
Mm-hmm.
I was holding the gun like this, and aiming at the table, and when I did, I went to try to undo the clip. Well, I took out the clip at first and set it down so it don't like reload and take out. But I know a pistol can do that.
Yeah.
So I just try to ease that hammer out, and when I did, I hit the table and it leaned it up high. Well, I don't know if it hit high because all I know, my hand was up and that thing went off and it bounced up and it scared me and it scared.
See, that's what I'm saying. The way you're trying to describe to me, the barrel would have been pointed down into the table,
Yeah, but
and we'd have had a shot table, and
I
not a
went
shot
to go
line.
try to get down in the chair so I don't like accidents. Well, because I'm real shaky.
Mm-hmm.
Because ADHD, that's what happens. Because of the hyper disorder.
Mm-hmm.
When I stay moving, well, shaking and everything. Well, so I went to go sit down. So, because every time I sit down, my hands would stop shaking around.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did, and it hit that table, when I hit the table, it moved the barrel like that, and it janked up. And when it went down like that, the trigger went out of my hand and it flew up the hammer.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, the way you're telling me, you're down low enough to where
I'm on this side of the table,
you're talking about across this way or this way?
this way.
No, I'm saying you're standing there. Is it shoot this way or this way? Was Alana over here or is she over here now?
She's over here.
She's over there. Okay.
And you're on this end of the table, close to her.
No, this end, over here.
Okay.
I went to go sit down, and when I sat down, the barrel hit the table and it bounced it up and it went off.
Okay.
But it went off sideways.
Huh?
But it went off sideways.
All right, we found the weapon. This one was time for having it printed.
No. Well, yeah, he's already pretty much said.
All right, here's the deal. Whose prints are supposed to be on that gun? That's it. Okay, whose prints? That's all that's on the. That's all that's on the gun.
Alana's prints aren't on it. Alana's prints aren't on it.
Who?
Alana?
Is your name Alana? Is his name Alana?
No, that's Aaron. I was telling him.
Yeah, Aaron's prints, because we got his prints on file. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, your prints are on it. That's all.
And when it hit the table, it bounced up and went off. And it got her in the head.
So there's no way in the world that you were up behind her, over the top of her, and shot her in the back of the head that way. There's no way that happened.
No, sir.
And if they don't find any other prints on that gun besides yours, how do we account for Alana holding it? Because you said the last time you saw it had been cleaned
Yes,
and
sir.
put away.
And when
she grabbed it.
But
But what if we don't
I
see it?
used, I don't want to act like I'm try to cover up or try to act like I wiped off
No,
stuff
I'm not,
like that.
I'm not saying that
I'm
you
not
do.
saying that, but when I was going to try to lift it up, because she held it by the barrel, well, I grabbed the barrel with the rag, and I was going to try to hold it like this. And I was holding the rag just in case if it did go off and burn my hand. But I did have the rag on my hand and on the barrel, and doing this to try to ease it up. And when it hit the table, like I was saying, when it hit the table, it bounced up, and I lost the grip of that hammer, and it went off and got hurt.
Y'all been target shooting the stuff outside and all that stuff before.
Yeah, but I never used that pistol.
Why don't you just take it outside and try to ease it up where if it went off, it'd be facing a tree or.
I wasn't thinking about that because she said she wanted to see, and I said I don't know how to do it.
What would have been just step there to the back door?
That door didn't want to open.
The back door that you opened to take her out wouldn't open when you had the gun in your hand to show her?
I didn't. It wasn't open. I just snatched it open as hard as I could.
Well, you came to the front door with it.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking.
Even after being caught out in his lies, Schmidt sticks with his story.
I don't know. I still don't have a good feeling about it.
Hang tight. All right. So, all right. Just got a phone. I'm trying to see guys and the coroner and all that stuff, and they're out there looking where that table is now and where the computer chair is. She's sitting, and they're telling me it's not possible that the gun was fired from the table height to where it hit her. The gun was fired up higher.
Out there.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
we'll be out there all night. But the gun was fired up higher. It wasn't fired at table height. It's not possible.
The way how she spinned in her chair, it did happen.
No, what I'm saying is that the trajectory, the way the bullet went in, it came from up to down. Okay?
Or did it go through?
The table couldn't do that. Okay? That would be down to up if you were on the table.
If I'm sitting here playing on Facebook
And I'm down here on the
and you're
table.
down there on the table,
See what I'm saying?
the bullet's going up,
But
not
this one
down.
came down. So it would have to be fired from up here.
I never did do that though.
What I'm saying, or up here doing it. I mean, I'm just telling you. I'm just trying to put
All I
these
know, the
puzzle
gun
pieces
went
together,
off
like
and
you
I
said.
got scared.
What about this rag you said you grabbed it with?
Yeah, I
Where-
used the rag on the kitchen. It's on the kitchen stove now. Can I put it back?
Why did you use that
Huh?
to grab it with? Why did you use that to grab
In
it with?
case it went off and burnt my hand.
Why were you worried about it going off and burning your hand if you were holding it the way you were supposed to be holding it?
I wasn't holding it. I don't even know how to hold the pistol.
How did you grab it?
I had my hand on the barrel like this, and I was supposed to have my hand like this, right? And I'm supposed to ease it off like that.
Okay, but you were standing over by the computer. Where was the rag you grabbed it with?
It was in my hand.
Would you grab that first? Did you grab it afterwards? Was it right there? I mean, how'd you get it?
Because I thought about it, and I went in the kitchen. I grabbed the rag, and I just put it on top of it, and I grabbed it.
You came back to behind her to unload it.
Huh?
Then you came back from the kitchen to behind her where she was at on the computer.
To go get the rag, and I went back and grabbed the rag. And
If you went over there to grab the rag, why did you come back behind her to unload it? Why didn't you just go outside?
I put the pistol down on the table.
That's not what you said.
I didn't take it into the kitchen.
You said you went into the kitchen,
You got the rag.
got the rag,
Yeah.
and you came back in the living room. And you said that first she handed you the pistol.
Yes.
And you had the pistol. But you had thought enough about it to go into the kitchen and get the rag and put it over the pistol. Now you're saying you didn't have the pistol.
I know. I left the pistol where I was sitting at, and I was doing it before I was even thinking about the thing going off. I was doing like I was saying I was doing, but I was too scared to do it. I was nervous,
Okay.
and I was thinking about if it did go off,
How about this? Why not just leave it there?
I wasn't thinking about it.
Just leave it there on the table and go, you know what? Neither one of us are going to touch it. When Amanda gets home, we'll let her know, hey, look, we thinking about going out and shooting it. Dumb, but we'll just leave it there. No harm, no foul. It doesn't go off. Everything's fine. And kind of why I think it didn't happen that way is because the way you're trying to say it again yet didn't happen. Because we kept digging into this further, and they'll be out there all night. I mean, if we keep sending them things to look at, they'll stay out there all night and half tomorrow if we need them to. I'm getting a little agitated, and I'm trying not to, Aaron. I really am. I'm getting to the point now to where
I'm trying to tell you the truth.
No, you're not trying to tell us the truth. If you were trying to tell us the truth, you'd just tell us the truth and quit trying.
No.
You would quit trying to just make stuff fit what we're telling you.
Listen, we're telling you what the evidence is and what the facts are, okay?
I know,
and we're showing that
the trajectory range of that was probably way too close, and it went in our head to a diameter way.
Listen, we're trying to tell you that the evidence it contradicts what you're saying, okay? Mm-hmm. It's not going with what you're saying, okay? We're telling you, that's flat out. You can't lie about that. I mean, you can't. Mm-hmm. We can't. That's the way it is. It is the way it is, okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I know for a fact that gun was not there on the table like this when it went off, okay?
No, I never did say it went off like that because
okay.
when I
that
had it in my
gun
hand,
was up above her.
Yes.
It was higher than where it went off. It was up. It wasn't down. It was up, is what I'm telling you. If you were playing some kind of game, you thought it was unloaded, and you come in there and, pow, whatever, and it went off, you didn't know it was loaded, okay. But what I'm asking you and what I'm telling you is that's not the way it happened, okay? Tell me the way it happened.
The detectives aren't going to let Schmidt continue stringing them along. He is going to have to change his story once again. But neither detective holds out much hope that it will be the truth.
Tell me the way it happened, Aaron. We can go back and forth all night, and I can tell you that it didn't happen that way, okay?
Am I going to be in trouble if I do?
I want to know the truth. I want to know what happened.
Okay, I was being dumb. I grabbed it after she handed it to me. I was trying to undo it, like I was saying, like I did. But I thought it can go back again, so I can just, pull it back again. But it wasn't budging. And I picked it up, and I was going to try to go outside, but the door did not want to go open with just one hand. And I was doing that. Again, when we said if it was just pulled back, it just let out the bullet. And it didn't, and my hand was on the trigger, and it just went off.
But that still doesn't figure out you're over there by the door now, and not behind her like you were.
No, the glass door beside me.
But what we're trying to tell you is, Aaron, let's just boil it down to brass tacks. This happened because somebody was standing up behind her at a certain angle.
When I was doing that, I was doing this, trying to see if it will come out, because...
Okay.
Now you got to point it up in the air.
Yeah, now you got to point it in the air.
I have it sideways in my hands, so I can grasp onto it like this and just pull it back. I was doing this, and I kept on doing that, pulling it back.
Where are you standing when you're doing this?
Up against the glass door.
Which would have meant she's beside you, right? No.
No. Where I was saying where I was sitting at, right?
Mm-hmm. You said you were sitting by the table.
Yeah, I picked it up and I was doing this, and I was looking. I actually had it pointed at me at first, and I was doing that, and I turned it like that, and I kept on. I like.
So at what point? You didn't grab the rag or anything? Did none of that happen, right? You didn't grab the rag.
Well, I did grab the rag, but I didn't really use it because it didn't grab.
You're confusing me more. You're confusing me more. Look, somebody. And I don't mean to cut you off, but bottom line, Aaron, we can run over this all day long. Listen to me. The only way this could have happened was somebody was standing behind her.
And I stood up, and I was doing this.
But you said you were over by the window. Over there. Where were you at? I mean, good Lord, you done moved all over this house in this period of time. I mean, you're in the kitchen, you're over here by the thing, you're over there in the thing, you're back over here, back there. What happened? It ain't any worse than what it is right now. You're trying to sit here and fit everything into it so it sounds better, but all it comes out is just sounding like you're trying to cover up something. That's all it sounds like. Period. And I'm not trying to get aggravated, but good Lord, we've been sitting here talking about this now for a little while.
I don't want to go to YDC. I'm scared of a lot of things.
I understand you're scared of a lot of things, but the one thing that you need to be concerned about is trying to figure out what the facts are and get the facts straight.
I am telling the truth about I was doing this, and I grabbed.
You are trying to manipulate things to make it look a certain way. Is what you're trying to do.
Manipulating this time.
Yeah, sure you are. If you're not, okay, this time, I don't care about what happened prior to that gun going off. I want to know when you had that gun in your hand, where were you at when you got it in your hands?
I was standing right there behind her.
Okay, and what did you do?
I was trying to get it back up, but it didn't want to go up.
Okay.
First, I thought I was supposed
How close were you to her?
within 2 feet or closer to her.
Okay.
And
Because here's what we know. The bullet went in, it went through, and it went into the keyboard. So it could not have been from the side, from over here, from over here, from over there. What we're telling you is there's only one way it could have happened.
I held it like this, and I wanted to go do it hold it like this, and ease it, but like I said, it did slide out of my hand. It went off, and it popped it.
Why?
Schmidt isn't going to let go of his claim that this was an accident. None of his other stories have worked, and he knows he is facing a murder charge if he can't turn things around.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't know.
No, you're not. Do you have it in you to tell me the truth?
What I'm saying right now is,
Well,
no,
where you
I ain't leaving. Here you see it's the computer chair, right?
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, as far back.
Whoa.
Hold on. Oh, over there for a second. I'll be right back.
Just tell me.
Well, let's just say you just turn backwards.
Okay.
Here's the table.
Okay, this is her. What is she doing?
Well, she just was spinning first.
She's spinning, but then at this
Then
point
she
she
got
turns
back
around
on
and she's typing at the computer.
And she kept on doing that spinning again every time she was getting a message.
Uh-huh.
And I held it like this, and I wanted to go pull back a little bit. And when I did, I wasn't paying attention about how fast it was going to come up. But when I was standing right here,
Which way was the barrel pointed?
I don't know. It was facing that way.
Was it this way or was it this way?
Facing that way.
That way. Okay. Keep going.
To my left. And when I barely even tapped that trigger, it went flying up and grazed my hand. And I missed it, and it clamped on and went off, and it popped.
So is that how you got the pinch on your finger right there?
No, this I got pinched by the fence at my house.
Okay.
It closed down on it.
So that's not from the hammer coming down and hitting you.
No, sir.
Because that's kind of what that looks like to me. I've had plenty of times where that's happened. I get a little blood blister there
No.
because I held it wrong. So you're holding it in your hands like this, and you're trying to get the thing to come down, and you got your finger back like this.
Yes, sir.
And your finger's on the trigger. And all of a sudden,
I barely tapped that trigger like that, and when I barely tapped it, it went.
Which finger did you tap the trigger with?
This finger.
You had that finger wrapped in the.
Yes, sir.
How did you have it? I mean,
I grabbed it by the barrel like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the barrel is. And I grabbed it like that, and I eased barely put any force to the trigger, and I wasn't paying attention how fast that hammer was going to come up. And when it came up, it flung up and missed my finger, and it connected to it, and it went off.
Okay.
And it went.
I mean, is this?
You didn't shoot yourself in the hand?
No, sir.
You're dang lucky. And then you look, and what happens?
And she just leans over and the computer chair falls over.
Are you? Is this about where you are in relation to her?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, she's sitting there, and you're standing here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I've seen.
Well, not turned like that, but I was right behind her.
So you're standing basically square behind her.
Well, not close blind.
I mean, it's like if he's turning around with his back to her, are you standing kind of like this behind her?
A little bit further back like
Like
that.
this, but
Y'all see the Facebook or not?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mine or that lead one?
Of yours.
Aaron Schmidt. No, Aaron Calahan.
Yeah.
They don't have any photos on them for that.
Something about demons. I mean, quit fighting my inner demon or something like that.
Just now we agreed or something like that.
So listen, we're going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. Right? Just took all that to come to this point. But here's the thing. Her fingerprints are on that gun. You know why they're not on that gun?
Schmidt grows more panicked and upset each time the detectives press him to tell the truth. He is running out of lies, but he isn't going to give them the truth without a fight.
You tell me.
Because she went in there and got it. Well,
Because she didn't have the gun.
well,
Aaron. Yeah, I told you, we're going to pick apart every little thing. Just quit trying to think of something else to cover it up and just tell me the truth.
okay, but she did want to use it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not lying about that. She wanted it. I didn't want to grab it, but she said I wasn't going to get in trouble if I do go in there and get it. So I went in there and got it. And she said, I'd be fine. And she went to go grab it and pull it back, but I ended up grabbing it and bringing it back myself because well, I was trying to focus on her hand.
Listen, man,
You just-
you just
No, you try.
No, I'm not saying that.
You went and got the gun.
Yes,
You came out.
yes, but the
Well,
clip was already halfway down.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
What clip was already halfway down?
So,
What, a hammer?
Yeah, hammer.
But you said you went like that.
Yeah, I thought I did because the back thing went down.
Mm-hmm.
The little hammer thing went
Yeah.
back down.
Okay.
Because I went like that and hit it down, and I didn't know how to get it back up without it
Going off.
Yeah,
Okay. So what happened?
like I was saying, I grabbed it not right at the bottom of the barrel, at the top of the barrel. I was doing that to try to make sure that it didn't go off, but like I said, it slid off of my hand and it went off.
Okay. And what did she do when you realized it went off? What happened? What did she do?
And like I said, she fell over forward on the keyboards and she rolled sideways, and the computer chair fell down with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really scared.
What did you do at that point?
I just was thinking about everything at once. It's hard to
Think about
say.
what you're doing, but tell me what you're thinking about and what you're doing.
All I did is set the gun down real fast. I was like, oh no. And I put my hands to my head and I got
Okay.
real scared.
What was she doing?
What?
What was Alana doing?
She fell over down.
Okay.
And I got scared. I didn't know what to do.
Did you stay right there with her?
Yeah, see if she was all right, but
Okay.
she wasn't moving. She wasn't breathing or nothing.
And here's another little piece. We got where there's some fingerprints on the curtains by the back door, where it looks like somebody reached up and tried to pull up on the curtains.
she was trying to pull herself
That's my handprint.
down low.
Down low, by where she was.
No, that's when she fell over. If it's down low.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So she didn't just fall over and lay there. She was down
'Cause
low trying to
I
reach
was
up.
trying
And
to see if she was all right, and she didn't move. She wasn't breathing.
But you just told me a minute ago, a few minutes ago, she was moaning.
That was it. When it went off, she went fell over.
Did she ever grab at the curtains?
No, she just fell over the chair and she just went down. I'm not lying about this.
I'm not saying you are. I'm
Even
just
though
saying.
I said that so many times, it's probably so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
because she just fell over. And I was like, oh no. And I got very scared. I didn't know what to do. She just laid there and blood going everywhere, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at her house and on her. I didn't know what to do. I was trying to think of something.
As you're thinking, what are you doing?
I didn't know if they was gonna get mad at me if I told them the truth about the gun going off and hitting her in the head about that, or make something up, and they would try to actually like me still and don't want to be around me.
Yeah. So what did you do?
So I try to make up like that thing I was telling y'all about the man and everything. I told her about that and that was about it. And I just moved her body out.
How did you move her body?
I picked her up by her sleeves and I just drug her out.
How was she facing?
She was just facing upwards.
Adding bits and pieces of truth to the story makes it easier for Schmidt to pass this off as the truth. It wasn't an accident, but he likely did move the body as he described.
When you dragged her? She was facing upward the whole way?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And her head kept on going back and forth, back and forth.
All right. Did she say anything? Did she ever make any noises? All right, then what you do?
And I try to act, but I can't act.
Well, I mean, did you leave? Did you run back in the house? I mean, what did you do?
I tried to go back and get my shoes, but I couldn't because Amanda was coming in.
Okay. Where was the gun at that point?
I already took it out and I was ditching it.
All right. What did you do that? Because you skipped that part. When did you take it out and ditch it? I mean, you laid it
But when
down.
I took her out and I laid her down, I just ran and ditched the gun.
So did you take her out and lay her down on the back porch?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you laid her down on the back porch, what'd you do?
I ran inside, got the gun, and I went and ditched it.
Where?
You know where the burning pile is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't go left, you go right, and right in that corner, not in this side, and over here, but there's trail. But go on the left side area.
Okay.
It's right there.
All right. How far down?
I don't know, I just tossed it there.
Oh, you just tossed it? You didn't lay it down? All right. On that left side, you talking about the left side over there where Alana was, or come back around and
you
this
go right
in front of where the truck was parked?
Yeah, there's truck, but there's another trail onto the right side.
Okay. If you wanted some water.
Well,
If you
on
don't,
the right
that's fine.
side there's a trail,
Mm-hmm.
but on this trail, when you're on the trail, look on the left side. It should be somewhere right in there.
Okay. All right. So, how did the whole thing about the gun come up in the first place? I mean, how long had you been there?
I've been there probably about 5 minutes because it took Amanda a little while to get down there and wait for Chase to get off the bus.
Okay.
So it was probably 10 to 15 minutes. And she was telling me before I left, I was about to leave, because I told her that the door was open, because that one day the door was wide open, even though Amanda said she locked it,
Mm-hmm.
even though it was wide open.
Okay. I don't want to know about all that. I want to know, about when you're standing back there talking to Alana. She's dabbling around on Facebook, answering emails and stuff like that, and talking to you or whatever. At what point did she say anything? When did this gun thing come up?
I was telling her I'll think about it, and she kept on saying, I need to know. I need to know.
So you've talked about this before?
Only once.
Well, why was it just so important today?
Huh?
Why was it just so important today? Had it been done today?
I don't know.
Had she been having problems with people? I mean, you said before she was scared.
Yeah, scared to stay home by herself, because one time there was a dude that walked around her house and she got scared.
Okay. I mean, is this something she was always talking about, or?
She's talked about that for quite a while.
Okay, so you're there today, and all of a sudden today she mentioned something about shooting, and all of a sudden today it became such a strong thing.
Because she said she wanted to know before I left, how to use it, and I was like, I guess maybe. I don't know if
even though you don't know how to use a pistol, by your own admission, you told her this, and you said, I don't think it's a good idea, but she pushed you that much to where you figured it was all right to go get the pistol. Where'd you say the pistol was?
You know where the bed is? The parents' bedroom is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there, all the way against the road. There's the 308 sitting on the corner, because she already knows how to use that. She already got knocked on the tail using that thing.
Okay.
She, I want to say it was on there, and it'll be up there. It'll be right there underneath, right there on top of the dresser, the brownish dresser, sitting up there underneath 3 hats with 2 sunglasses on.
Okay. Was it in anything?
Huh?
Was it in anything?
No.
It was just a pistol laying up under there. It wasn't, not in a box, nothing.
I didn't see a box.
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded.
I don't know if it was fully loaded. I didn't see the clip. I don't know how to get the clip out.
You told me earlier you took the clip out.
Yeah. You said earlier you did.
I didn't know how to get the clip out until I was messing
What are you
around.
calling the clip?
Huh?
What are you calling the clip?
Is that the clip here where you gotta pull it back?
No. That's the
Slide.
that's the slide. The clip. This little thing up under the where the
Is
bullets
it
go.
where the magazine?
That's the magazine. That's the
Well,
that will.
I know how to get that out.
Okay.
I don't know how to get this out because it got.
You didn't know
got
how to
jammed.
clear. You didn't know how to clear it out of the slide. You didn't know how to clear it out of the chamber.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying. So you're talking about the barrel, the slide, and the chamber as opposed to the clip.
yeah.
Because a clip that we talk about, and it's not the proper term, is the magazine. That's the proper term. You know about the magazine. You got to, as you said before, you did take the magazine out of the clip. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. How did you take it out? And then you're saying now you
All
never.
I did is grab the handle and it fell out. Because when I grabbed it, there's a button and it just slid out.
No matter how many times Schmidt changes his story or tries to come across as someone who didn't know how to handle a gun, he still can't make the evidence line up to support his claims.
Right
But you
here,
just said you never took it out because you never learned how to take it out.
No, I was talking about the magazine.
I mean, you just said fully loaded. You said, I don't know if it was fully loaded or not. I never took the magazine out because I didn't.
Oh, I can't see everything. All I saw was a couple bullets at the top. That's
Okay.
it. I can't tell if it was fully loaded or not.
So you get the gun. What do you do when you get the gun? Who was she with you when you got the gun?
Yes, sir.
What was she saying and doing?
I didn't know that pistol was that big. Because
Okay.
it is a little pretty big. And I let her, well, I didn't let her hold it. I was going to say that, but y'all going to say there ain't no fingerprints. But it did have a little weight to it. And so the clip, the hammer was already back halfway, like halfway middle and backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't notice it. Now I went to go to just see if it was loaded. And I couldn't get this thing to get back and see if I can get it out.
Okay.
And I couldn't get it out.
All right.
I went to go try to get the
So
hammer
this
back.
is
Try to get the hammer out.
y'all are back in the bedroom. At what point did you walk back up into the front and she sit down that you were doing this?
For I don't know when. It was a couple minutes we were talking, and she said she got a
What were y'all doing in this couple of minutes you were talking? You were just fumbling with the gun, trying to figure out how it was working. What?
Well, I was trying to see how I'm going to get the bullet out.
Okay.
See if it was loaded because
She's on Facebook.
yeah. Well,
So-
she came in there with the room with me, and we walked out. I sat down at the table behind her,
Uh-huh.
and I was trying to still see if that darn thing would come out, and I thought it was jammed.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out how to. Well, I know how to use a rifle or 30-30. You know how you got to put the finger there and ease it up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought I had to do that, but it flew up.
Okay.
And it kind of startled me the way how it flew up, and it just went up and it clicked, and when it clicked, it went off.
Okay. And then by this time you were standing up when
Yes,
that
sir.
happened.
When I was doing this.
Yeah. She falls forward. She falls down. She moans as she's falling forward and then falls down. The chair falls over. And then what do you do?
I was just sitting there trying. I touched her by the shoulder and rolled her over a little bit, and like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I got scared, and I kind of mumble when I get really, really scared.
Mhm.
And I kept on doing that, and I was trying to see if she was all right, and she just started gushing out blood on the top of her head.
Okay.
And I got scared even more when I saw that. And I was like, because I turned white, when that term, when you turn white. Well, I turned white and I started sweating because I was that scared.
Okay.
So open the back, I had to put a lot of thrust in that back door to open it. I didn't know if it was locked or not. All I did was grab it and just slung it back. And I just put her on the back porch, and I went and got the pistol and put the clip or magazine, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And put it back in there, and I just threw it in the woods. And I tried to drag Alana, but it didn't work out that well.
Where were you going to take her to?
Huh?
Where were you going to take her to?
That's one thing I was trying to figure out.
And all that seemed like a better solution than.
So it'll look like there's something. I'm trying to make. It's hard to say it.
I think I know what you're trying to say. You were trying to say you were trying to do it in such a way to where they wouldn't bring the heat down on you so much they wouldn't ever want to see you again.
Yeah, that.
But you see, in all this running around, trying to do all this stuff over here to try to prevent them from seeing this in a bad light, what does it look like?
Still a bad light.
So did you really get away from what you were trying? No. Instead, it makes us think you're doing nothing but just sitting here lying, trying to save your own self.
I was trying to say, but it's kind of confusing to say.
Well, I understand that, but you were outright making up stuff to begin
The first
with.
time, yes.
Yeah.
But when I said I was going to pull out full cards, I was trying to get it out.
Well, and sometimes it comes longer for others to get it out. And I just want to make sure that we're not going to have one of these other revelations.
I'm not lying about nothing. I didn't mean to hurt her.
All right. Okay. Hang tight.
Can I get my shoes?
We'll think about it.
Aaron, that's your name? My name's Frank Dodson. This is Richard Douglas. You got some water there? Good to go? You sleepy? All right. Look here. Investigator Jones and Edmonds have been in here talking with you, right? Before we put you back talking with them, I just want you one more time to tell me exactly what happened from point A to point B. And I understand, dude. Look at me. Look at me now. I understand. It's tough. You know, you got a friend of yours. You want to see a picture of her? You don't want to see? We got a picture of her if you want to see one. Okay. I know it's tough. And I know it's hard for you to recall in your mind the events that have happened that's caused this girl to be dead. But I need you to just do that one more time for me, okay? Because I come in and got you swabs. You know, we checked the sink. No prints on the gun. The rag thing turned out to be, not true. So, explain to me exactly what happened.
She wanted, because the other couple of days ago, the door was open.
No, what caused you?
I know.
No, listen to me. What caused you to go to her house today? Why did you go to this girl's house? What's her name?
Amanda's.
The girl that's dead?
Alana.
Is that the girl that got shot in the head? Okay. Why was you at her house today?
Well, I went over there to tell her to remind Amanda or just go up to Miss Betty to tell her that I'm on restriction for 2 weeks.
Why does she need to tell them that?
Because I told Amanda, and I know Amanda sometimes forgets. Because Miss
You
Betty
told
always,
Amanda that you were on restriction, but then you went to this girl's house to remind Amanda that you were on restriction? That doesn't make sense.
Well, because sometimes Amanda forgets because she's all the time busy with chasing little Paul.
But you told her. You said, Amanda, I'm on restriction. Is that right? So then you went over to this girl's house who's now dead, and you said, hey, remind Amanda that I'm on restriction. Is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and who's Betty?
Her mom.
Whose mom? The dead girl? What's the dead girl's name?
Alana.
Alana, okay,
Please stop
Alana.
saying dead girl.
I'm sorry, but she is dead. So, okay. All right. So, Alana. So, you went to Alana's house today to tell Alana, hey, when you see Betty and when you see, what's her name? Amanda, remind them I'm on restriction. All right? So, you go to the house to do that. What door did you go in when you got to the house?
Front door.
Did she let you in?
Yes, sir. I knocked on the door and she let me in.
Okay.
But she said, hold up. Didn't you say he was on restriction? I said, yeah, but I'm here to let you know, to remind Amanda.
When did you tell her you was on restriction?
I didn't text her.
Tell the truth.
I am telling the truth.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Why would you go to her house to tell her you're on restriction when she opens the door to you and like, oh, dude, you can't be here. You're on restriction. That doesn't make sense. She already knows you're on restriction. Why would you go to tell her? She had to know. Who told her?
Amanda. I believe. I don't know. I never even told her.
You never told
Only
who?
told Amanda.
Right. So you're going to what's her name?
Alana.
Alana. Tell Alana,
But,
hey, I'm on restriction. But when she opens the door, she knows you're on restriction.
They've switched in new people to question Schmidt. The change in approach, combined with the more focused questions about the inconsistencies in his story, should shake him up.
And what did she say to you?
well, but when I walked in, she said, "Take off."
Wait a minute. She opens the door and she says, "Oh, wait a minute. You're on restriction, right?" Did that stop you at the front door for a second till you tried to explain to her? What did you tell her to get you in the house? If she stopped and was kind of wary about you coming in the house and saying, "Well, wait a minute. What got you in the house?"
She told me to come in real fast.
Well, what do you mean, come in real fast? What does that mean? No, I'm just trying to understand, really, dude.
I'm talking about going in and help her with something, and I didn't know
And I
what
understand.
to do.
Okay, here we go. Who is it? Yeah. Okay. Open door. Hey, man, you're on restriction. That's where we're at. Okay. She recognized that you were on restriction. You tell me you were there to tell her that you're on restriction. Okay. What you just told me was that she stopped you at the front door. And by stopped, I don't mean kick you in the groin or nothing. She just said, "Oh, wait a minute." Okay. What happened after that?
Because when I turned around, I was about to leave. She said, "Since I was there,
Okay.
can you hold up for a minute and help me out?" Because she asked before if I can help her out with the gun issues,
What?
stuff like that.
What did she ask you to help her out with that got you in the house today?
She just said, "Come here real fast and help," because I always help her out with anything.
Help me bake a cake, help me sew a hat, help me shine a shoe. What was you in the house to do today? What were you going in there to help her do today? What put you in the house?
I don't know. She told me when she sat down on Facebook and she was going to say, "Oh, hold up, I gotta delete this picture and put in a couple more on there." And I said, "Hold up, you asked me to come in and help you."
Whoa, dude, we're not at the computer yet. We've not even made it past the front door. Don't jump to the computer, okay? She stops you at the front door because you're on restriction, okay? She says, "Come in and help me." What?
She just said, "Come here and help me out real fast."
Okay.
With something. And I just said, "All right."
And it could have been anything as far as you knew.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You say sure.
And I walk in, I open the door and walk in, take off my shoes like usual because Miss Betty hates us walking on the carpet.
So when we call Miss Betty, she's going to say, "Yes, sir, they better not nobody ever come in my house with shoes on because I get in that ass." Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Miss Betty's going to say that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
So I take off my shoes. And she said, "Remember the day that I told you about I needed help with that something?" And I was like,
No.
What?
Okay.
And I was like, "You talking about the day I came in when the door was wide open?" And she's like, "Yeah." She wanted to know how to use the gun in case somebody came in.
What day did you go to her house when the door was wide open? How long ago's that been? And who was there that could help us prove that? What day was that? Was that a day that you might have got on Facebook and found a new friend and that'll refresh your memory? Was it a day you got a new pocket knife? And what day was
I
it?
can't have pocket knives.
Okay, then how about a new chain? Whatever it was that you walked.
Wednesday because I was in my uniform.
What Wednesday?
Last Wednesday.
So today's Monday. This past Wednesday, you went to her house.
and the door was wide open, and usually they...
Was you on restriction last Wednesday?
No, sir. Last Wednesday I was off.
What got you on restriction between Wednesday and today?
Well, not today. It was last Saturday because these boys came over at 11:30 something. I was supposed to wake up my sister. I didn't know. I didn't want to wake her up because usually she gets grumpy and everything.
What got you on? What'd you do?
I went down there to get my money back, and chaos went in.
And what?
Chaos means fighting.
So you was out fighting late at night.
David and Tyler, Reed, and...
I don't care who all was there. You was out fighting late at night. That's what got you on restriction.
Yes, sir.
And that was when? This past Saturday night?
Yes, sir.
What day did you go to Amanda and tell her, hey, I'm on restriction?
Monday. Sunday I couldn't go over there to talk to her.
Today's Monday.
Sunday.
Oh, you told her Sunday, this past Sunday.
No, today I told her. I'm talking about I couldn't go over there Sunday, tell her, because I went to church and my cousin, my aunt made me go over there to his house and spend the night. And
Okay.
they don't like me really touching their phone and stuff like that.
Okay, so Wednesday night, or Wednesday during the day, you go over to, what's her name? Alana. You go over to Alana's house. The door's wide open. What does that mean? The door's just wide open, or does it mean a
They
screen?
Usually they leave the front door open,
Okay.
and leave the
Right.
little latch door closed. And
But wait a minute.
somebody would be in there.
It was open today like that. It wasn't?
I had to knock on the door.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so you just went on in the house? I mean, is that
Yeah,
common?
they tell me to open the door and say I'm here, and I did. No one answered.
Schmidt has to retell his story from the beginning, and many of his movements don't make sense. He also leaves out important details, such as Calahan's mother not wanting him to enter their house so freely.
And I said, if anybody's here, I'm using the bathroom real fast. I went in the bathroom, and Alana comes in, and Amanda comes in, and within a couple minutes.
So they were both in the house, or they came in after you got in and started using the bathroom?
Yeah, and when
Yeah,
I came
what?
out, well, before
They were
when I
in the
went out-
house and didn't hear you, or they came in after you got in the house?
after I got in the house.
Okay, all right.
I thought they were in the house because they don't leave the door unlocked and open like that.
Okay.
And so I came in, went to the bathroom. When I got done and flushed him over to come out, Lana went to go close the door because Amanda asked her to.
Close what door to what room?
The front door.
To the house.
Yeah, because when
Okay.
the sun hits it, reflects the TV. And
But all you was
blurs it
in
up.
there was to go pee.
Yes, sir.
Or you didn't do, did you? Just
No.
pee. All right.
And I came out and she screamed and Amanda screamed and Alana screamed and
So you scared them.
yeah, and I didn't mean to scare them because I thought they was already in the house. I'm like,
Where were they at?
in the living room.
So they were in the house.
When I came in before them.
Where were they at when you went in the house? What were they doing? Were they hanging
No,
clothes?
they wasn't even in the house. But
Where were they at?
I don't know.
Oh, so they just came in.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they screamed because you scared them. You come out of the bathroom, and what happens?
And they said, how did I get in here? I was like, you left the front door open. And they said, no, I didn't. And I was locked it. Yeah, then if you locked it, I wouldn't be standing right here right now. And she kept on mumbling like, go check every closet.
Who did? Who said that?
Amanda.
Why?
Because she was on the plane because she thought, because the door, you got to close it all the way. If not,
Why would she want somebody to check the closets if you're in the house? You think you
Well,
want to take something, or?
no, she just says that in case if somebody's in the closet
I
hiding.
got you. Okay, go ahead with it.
Well, she said that, and Alana went around checking every closet like a little nut,
Yeah, right. Okay.
and we laughed at her. And it was kind of funny.
Who laughed at her?
Amanda, then I did. Then after that, everything was all right, but we didn't. Amanda said she probably halfway closed it and locked it. And it
The
probably
door
slid
issue is
open.
good. Let's move on. What did Alana say? What's going on? What did she say?
What today?
No. When you scared him in the house,
Oh,
what did
she was like just screamed. And I was like, shoot. Yeah, I thought I scared you. You scared me more than with your scream.
Right. What other conversations y'all have that day?
Nothing about only when she's at school. She'd come in and tell everything that she did that day.
See, here's the deal. You just sat right here and told me that the reason you got in the house today was because Alana wanted to talk to you about that thing that you were at her house for this past Wednesday, and you just now telling me that y'all ain't talked about a thing. All you did was scare them and they screamed. That don't make sense.
I know. Because they.
What did Alana want you to help her with last Wednesday that you showed up at her house today and she reminds you, hey, come in and help me with that thing last Wednesday I talked to you about?
Oh, she was talking about using that using the guns.
Okay.
Like,
you walk out of the bathroom. Ha! You scared her. You scared her. She's scared. She goes and checks all the closets. What happens then? What conversation did you have with her?
Later that night, when Amanda was in the living room with the boys doing homework, every week they got homework. Well, we went in the kitchen and got a little snack, and she was like, mumbling at me, hey, you mind?
Later that night, did you come back or did you stay the rest of the day?
I stayed there. Because I stayed there until 8 or 9.
Okay. How did you just forget to tell me that when I asked you what did she do after y'all screamed and after she screamed and you said nothing?
I wasn't noticing. I wasn't thinking about if you was talking about the gun incidents.
There's a dead girl. You need to think. You need to.
I know. I was trying to say that.
I want you to understand. You need to pay attention to what I'm saying. I want you to give me every detail. Don't leave nothing out. Nothing. I want to know everything. Everything. Okay? It's very, very important. You told me you went to her house today. She let you in because she wanted you to help her with that thing y'all talked about last Wednesday. And now you forgot to tell me about the thing you talked about last Wednesday, except now you're saying it was Wednesday night. She talked to you about what?
Well, when we got our snack, we sat down and she was like, well, kind of being quiet a little bit so Amanda don't hear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she like, mind showing me how to use the guns around here? And I was like, which ones? All I know is your dad Manly's got a 308, and she's like, I know that.
How do you know he's got a 308?
Because we target practice with it.
Who targets practice?
Bruce and Paul.
What's Bruce's name? Last name, sorry.
Unlike with the previous detectives, Schmidt isn't given as much time to think between questions. He is rattled and having trouble keeping the details straight.
I don't know. All I know
Bruce and Paul?
Yes, sir.
But we go to them and talk to them. They say, yeah, we shoot with him all the time. Target practice, everything. That's verifiable. So
she's like,
so when I go talk to them, they'll agree with that, right?
Yeah, that they target practice.
All right. With you.
I don't target practice with them. No.
If I go to, no. I ask you, how do you know he has a 308? And you said you target practice with him.
Well, what I meant by that,
you better tell me what you mean.
Because I'm not allowed to touch that gun.
Then how do you know he has a 308 if you ain't never shot it?
The thing is, he hunts.
Does he take you with him?
No.
Well, then how do you know he's got a 308? How do you know that?
I'm not blind. I'm not stupid. I see it. He pulls it out.
That's what I want to know. That's all you got to tell me. I see it. I see it in the corner of the house. You got to tell me these things.
I didn't see it in the corner of the house because mainly he pulls it out and he'd be target practicing.
But the reason you know he has a 308 is because he showed it to you before, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, she mentions the 308 or she doesn't. What?
She did. No, she already knows about 308 because her dad let her try it out and she knocked herself to her
Okay, so then what did she move on to?
And she Bruce handed him another gun, and I was like, what kind
Bruce
of gun?
handed him another gun?
Mr. Paul, her dad, another gun.
Gave him another gun?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, gave or borrow, I don't know.
So Paul is her granddad and Bruce is her dad? No?
Other way.
Paul is her dad and Bruce is her...
No, Bruce is Mr. Paul's best friend.
Okay. All right, so ever how it worked out, her dad wound up with a 9mm. And what did she say Wednesday night when you were at her house and she was talking softly?
And she was like, hey, man, trying to show me how to work it.
She said what?
Show her how to work it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Showing you how to work with what? The little gun that my dad got. Like, what kind of little gun? She knows where it was, and she showed me.
Where did she show you?
A 9mm.
Where was it at when she showed it to you? Did she show it to you Wednesday night?
Yes, sir.
Where was it at when she showed it to you?
In her dad's room, underneath a bunch of hats and sunglasses.
What was it in?
It wasn't in nothing.
Just laying there by itself, between two hats?
No, underneath the hats. Like slanted, so where the handle was shown.
But there was a hat on top of it, and it was laying under a hat, right?
And under 3 hats and 2 sunglasses on it.
Okay, so how did she show you the gun? How did she move the hats? What did she do to make you see the gun?
She said it was right there. She pointed at it. And she moved the hat.
She pointed at a stack of hats and said it's right there.
Yeah, I was like, what? And I was like, like
Right.
he just did, like, stack of hats.
Okay.
So she moves the hats because she said she didn't want to touch the gun. I was like, if you don't want to touch it,
She never
already
has
tell me.
touched it. She never has touched it.
No?
No. Her friends ain't on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I said.
Okay.
And, okay, what?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And she's like, I don't want to touch it. I was like, why? You want me to show you how to work this thing, even though I don't know how to work it, but yet you want me to show you. But yet you don't want to touch it. And so we carry on. I was like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's probably a bad feeling. And I didn't do it that day.
So
Say maybe.
you
And
covered.
she carried it on to today.
So you covered the gun back up, or
Yeah, we set the hats and sunglasses right back on top of it.
y'all walk out of the room, and then what happens? What conversations do you have?
We just went to Facebook and she was showing me a bunch of her friends and talking about them.
Okay. All right. And
And Amanda.
when do you leave the house that night?
I go home around 8 o'clock or 7.
Wednesday night. Okay.
Yes, I go. That's regular for over there. They take me home.
Have you had any contact with her since last Wednesday until today? Did you see her Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I seen her Thursday and Friday, and no, I couldn't see her Saturday nor Sunday because I went to Tom's house.
When you saw her Thursday and Friday, did you just go to her house to hang out? Did she mention the gun again? Never mentioned. Never brought it back up.
No, she was trying to tell me something Friday. I was completely out of it Friday because I had to leave early because I had to go home.
What do you mean you were completely out of it Friday?
Because I got kind of jumped by 5 black boys and my face was hurting and everything. I was trying to get home.
Did you report that?
Uh-huh.
Did
My
you?
sister.
No, did you report getting beat up by
Yes.
the black guys?
I didn't feel like talking really
Yeah.
about that.
I understand. Headache and all
I
that.
didn't want to hurt the boys' feelings. I didn't want to come over because I was in pain. But I just sat there on the couch, played a little video game with the boys, and we just horseplayed around.
What night was that?
Friday.
There are a few details that can be verified, but the important information, such as Calahan asking him for help, cannot. There is no other evidence to suggest she was afraid of an intruder. If she had been, she would have locked the door while her sister was away.
And what boys was that?
Chasing the ball.
Okay. But you were at the other girl's house Thursday and Friday night, right?
Who? Alana?
No.
Yeah, that's still the same
So
house.
they were over there too.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
their brothers.
Okay. So you show up today. She says, come on in. I want to talk about that thing we talked about Wednesday night. You knew, ding, ding. It's about the gun. It's about the gun that I don't know nothing about and she don't know nothing about. I shouldn't handle it and she sure shouldn't handle it. But you know that's what she wants to talk to you about. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you see the back of her as she starts walking away from you going into the house? Do you follow her? Is that the way it goes or what?
No, we'll just phone. She told me that it would be all right if I could just try to mess with it, but
No. When you walk in the door and you realize she wants you to help her work on this thing from
From
last
today?
Wednesday. Yes, today.
all right.
Okay. Where do y'all go after you go into the room? After you walk in the front door of the house and you make contact with her, what happens then?
We go straight to the computer and we talk a little bit, and
Go straight to the computer. She sits down and what's she doing?
she's just typing.
Because we got her computer. We'll know everything she did. So just throwing that out
She
there.
was
So you
typing and trying to edit her Facebook pictures around.
edit them around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like delete and add more on
Where
there.
were you at?
I was in the bathroom at the time, and I came out, and she wanted me to come back over there and help her. And she was like trying to point out which pictures and which, and I
She wanted you to help her
like
do what?
pick pictures out.
Okay.
of,
Of friends?
Yeah.
Like who's good looking and who's not, who's hot and whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I guess maybe. And within a couple minutes later, she was like, this is topped off.
She said what?
She like topped off. It means top of my head. Get it? Like top off.
No, I'm totally lost, dude. What does that mean?
I mean, it just popped up right at the top of her head. Like,
Oh,
popped
just
up.
out of the clear blue. Bam. Like, bam.
Yeah.
Out of the clear blue. She says what?
She's like, you supposed to, aren't you going to show me how to use it? And I was like, use what? Oh, that. Use the gun? I was like, how can I show you when I don't hardly even know how to use it myself?
So she's on the computer typing. Is she in the middle of typing when she says, "Oh, wait a minute. Hey, how did that happen?"
Now she turned and looked at me and was talking to me.
Okay.
I was like, guess maybe, maybe not. I just got a bad feeling about it. And we went and got it. And we walked out.
Who went and got it? You and her went in the room.
Yeah.
What happened in the room?
She moved the hats and said, told me to grab it. And I grabbed it. And the hammer was already ready back, already pulled back. I was like,
Is it the same way that way Wednesday when you looked at it?
yes, sir. I wasn't paying attention that much, but all I know it was still the same thing I was looking. And all I did is grab it. And I was like,
Why did you grab it if you didn't know how to use it or you didn't know what you were doing? Why did you even touch it?
well, I know how to use a regular pistol, but I don't know about a 9mm.
Then why did you touch it? It ain't a regular pistol. It's a 9mm. Why did you touch it if you didn't know
I
what
didn't
you
want to hurt her feelings. I don't know how to do it, even though I told her and told her and told her, and she just kept on going on it. And I was like, fine, all right.
So she kept on and on and on and on you about you showing her how to use the handgun?
Yes, sir.
Why?
And she said because in case if somebody tries to break in or do something.
We've checked the residence. There's never been a break-in over there.
Exactly. That's what I've been telling her. It's always clean down here. She's like,
it's always clean. Where, on Miles Road?
No, about breaking in.
Calahan was supposedly worried. Yet, as soon as he was in the house, she went back to focusing on the computer. Then, according to Schmidt, she randomly switches back to the gun. Nothing about this interaction feels authentic.
I ain't saying about clean like drugs, stuff like that, because it ain't. Trust me about that.
So the whole reason she kept on nagging and nagging and bugging you,
because she didn't want anybody to break in or do something to her.
So,
because
sometimes she gets off the bus and she's
so
at the
at
house
14 years old, she's wanting to learn. She's on you about wanting to learn how to shoot a handgun.
Yes, sir.
14 years old.
Yes, sir.
A female.
Yes, sir.
That's on Facebook most of the time and worried about who's good looking and who's not. She's gonna be worried about wanting to learn how to shoot a handgun.
Yes, sir. Because now it may sound stupid, but I'm not saying it is or isn't.
Well, how about let me tell you?
You're gonna say it is.
I mean, this
because she said she's been seeing something going around her house, messing around. Because
like what?
Like a head. She's saying she's been seeing a face around.
Somebody saw you dressed in camouflage, watching their daughter change into pajamas.
What?
Yeah. We got a guy that's done come up here and said, you've been sitting there in the woods or wherever it's at. Maybe you don't have woods. Don't start splitting hairs with me. But he knows that you've been watching his daughter change into the pajamas.
You're coming outside at night getting
Yes,
firewood.
sir. I know that for a fact. That is a fact. And don't sit there and deny it. You know that's true.
Wonder whose head is seen walking around the woods over there all the time.
I'm talking about another family whose daughter you've been watching change pajamas, change panties, drawers. I don't know. Maybe it's not pajamas. So if you sit there and watched her change a 1970s pantsuit, don't split hairs with me. He knows you've been watching her daughter, his daughter, do something. Because he's going to come up here and told us. And I can tell by that look on your face, you're going, you know what? God dang it. How did they find that out? Dude,
I don't know nothing about this. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I'm afraid we're going to go off on another tangent of lies, so let's just redirect ourselves.
All right. You know, look, let's just do this. What possessed you to pick the gun up today that you didn't do it Wednesday?
Because she nagged and nagged and nagged.
All right. What hand did you use to pick the gun up with?
The right hand.
Okay. What happened when you picked it up? Walk me through.
When I picked it up, I was noticing that the hammer was back. And
okay.
I was like, I don't know if it was loaded or not. So I took out the magazine by a little button because I just barely even grabbed the handle.
How did you know how did you know that released the magazine?
Well, I didn't know at the time. All I did was grab the handle and it just let it go. And I noticed that there was a button. So I just kept on fiddling around with it and it fell out. And when it fell out, I saw the bullets. And I didn't know how to get the bullet and see if there was a bullet inside the chamber or not. So I was doing this, trying to get it out.
All right, now, what you're telling me, we've never left the bedroom. So you're still in the bedroom jacking around with the gun. So unless you've missed some steps here, I'm still in the bedroom and so's the girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was trying to see if it'll pop back out.
All right, where's she at while you're standing there in the bedroom?
It's like it's supposed to go backwards. I was like, I'm trying to make it go backwards, and it won't go backwards. And
she says that to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Get the bullet out, and it
Okay.
didn't want to go out.
All right.
And so we walked to the bed, to the back of the computer. I sit behind her at that little wooden chair, table-looking thing, whatever you want to call it. I'm
Well,
still
let's see if-
farting around with it.
Let's see if we can figure out. Is it a table like this?
Probably lower.
Okay.
I sit down, still feeling farting with it, and I got up and I went like this. And I wasn't realizing where my hand was, and it was on the trigger, and it went off, and it got her.
Well, let me ask you this. Why did you lie?
Schmidt hangs his head to avoid making eye contact, which he has done multiple times throughout the interview.
Let me just pick one thing. Why did you lie to the investigators?
About what?
About her touching the gun and fumbling with it and her finally handing it to you. Why did you lie? Why did you make me go through all that process of having it fingerprinted for me to have to walk in here and say, you know what? Her prints ain't all over. Why did you lie and tell those investigators that she touched that gun when that dead girl has never put her fingers on that gun? Why did you lie about that?
I don't know.
Sure you do. Why did you lie in an official investigation where someone you know is dead and you have drugged their body
out?
out?
If they're dead.
You're not going to do that to me.
Not until you just said that the dead girls.
What?
Until you kept on saying the dead girl. And that's when I finally figured out that she was finally dead.
You think she's been alive all this time?
I don't know. All I know is she wasn't moving or not.
And she's gargling.
Huh?
That come out of your own mouth.
What?
You said she was gargling.
Yeah, she was.
And then she didn't. She was laying there not moving and not breathing.
Yes.
What normally
moving.
happens when somebody's gurgling and they quit breathing?
You know when you ask that deputy what happens when you shoot a deer and it gurgles? You know there ain't much life left in it. You know enough about that to know. Sure, you know she was dead. The point I'm trying to make here is, why did you lie to the investigators and lead them to believe that that girl had put her hands on that weapon when she had not even touched it? Why did you lie about that and mislead them and make them go and do extra work and me extra work? Why has it took the last 4 hours to try and get the truth out of you when you could have sat here and told us the whole story and be done with it? But yet every time I walk in with something, I'm going to do the gun residue. You add something more to your story. That is a lie. Why are you lying about this?
I don't want to go to YEC.
Why did you lie and tell those investigators that that dead girl put her hands on that weapon? Why did you say that to them? Why did you lead them to believe that? You know what? If you're scared, if you're really scared about what's going to happen to you, you better start telling the truth. You better start telling the whole truth. Because let me finish, because you know what? When I finally do go home tonight, my conscience is going to be clear that I gave you every opportunity, me and this man right here, sat here and gave you every opportunity to tell us the entire truth. That girl is at the GBI crime lab. I don't know what they're going to find. I don't believe you've told us the whole truth. I don't know if they're going to start cleaning her up and there's going to be a press contact wound right there that a weapon makes. I don't know that. In your mind, though, you know the truth. You know what's eventually going to happen when, just by the mere nature of it, it can't be done at night. It has to be done in the morning when all the pathologists and all the people with PhDs and all that, when they come into work at 9 in the morning and they start looking at this girl, they're going to be able to tell us stuff that we just don't know tonight. So what all I have to depend on is by the way you're acting and by the way you have misled these investigators, you have told them lie after lie after lie. And trust me, when the district attorney's office gets this, they're going to be concerned about all these lies. Well, why do you lie to y'all? Well, he told us, I don't know. That's not going to cut it. You need to tell me the truth. You need to tell me the whole truth, because when that body is cleaned up, when that house that nobody's going back into tonight or tomorrow except for us, till we get through sweeping it with a fine-tooth comb and we found the 9mm casing.
The investigator has positioned himself to be in Schmidt's personal space to make him uncomfortable. Sometimes people will respond by blurting out the truth to get the other person to move away.
We're going to have to wind up coming back to see you, because we're going to have evidence that proves what you've told us tonight. If your final version of what you say happened remains as it is.
God told the same guys who was just here
If the same,
saying,
I know you did, but it ain't the truth. And when that body is cleaned up, when that trajectory, when they take a rod and they put it through the hole, they're going to tell where you were at. I can't do that here. I don't have the math. I don't have the dowel rods, and I don't have all that crap. When they start doing that, if you watch CSI, you know that alone is enough evidence. And when the DA's office gets a hold of this and say, well, was he helpful? Did he finally say, you know what? Okay, dang, here's what happened. No, he sat there and just lied to us time after time. Here's the specific lies he told. Well, what did the scientific evidence prove? What did the evidence prove that some man has went 10 years to college and paid $60,000 to get up on the stand, and what he says is the God's honest truth and it could put you in jail? What is his opinion? Well, his opinion was it didn't happen like he said it did. You through. If you let us leave this room, and we're going to be the last two people you talk to, if you let me and him leave this room with what you've told us right now, you in for a long road. You need to man up. I can't change what's happened. I can't wave a magic wand. I can't make water go back under the bridge. What's happened has happened. You need to worry about what's going to happen to you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road. Right now, you're just focused on RYDC, YDC. We can't even get out of this room. We can't even get past this room to even try and worry about what might happen to you. I've been doing this for 25 years. Okay? He's been doing it just as long. I can tell just by the way you're acting. I can tell because you've said you have gave us so many lies. You made me go look for a rag that's even non-existent. You made me fingerprint a gun that don't even have the dead girl's prints on it. When you do that, you're trying to muddy the water. You're keeping me from the truth because you're making me go around this way. You need to tell me the truth about what happened. I don't know what happened. Tomorrow morning, about maybe 11, after they've done the autopsy and all that, they're going to do everything. Rape kit, check her fingernails, and they do all that. Standard autopsy stuff, do all the, put the lasers. I said dowel rods, that's old school. That stuff like they did back in his time. No, they use lasers and stuff nowadays. Okay? So, with all that in mind, knowing that if we leave here, only you know if you told me the truth. Only you know what that body's going to say when it's cleaned up. My God, this sounds like an episode of CSI, don't it? The dead body speaks. If we have to come back to you because you forgot to tell us something, or because you misled us, because you made some investigator work more hours than he should have when you could told the truth, they're going to break it off of you. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. When all you had to do was say, you know what, guys, this is what happened.
Since I am from the old school, like you said, if your only concern here is that you don't want to go to RYDC, you're afraid to go to RYDC, you're more afraid of going to RYDC than you are getting the truth out about this young girl, to me, you're a coward. If you're more concerned about going out there than you are bringing some kind of justice or some kind of rest to this girl, who is your so-called friend. You're more concerned of covering your butt. To me, you're nothing no more than a coward. Who's going to wind up getting buried if you don't tell the truth? So if you're ever going to be a man, now's the time to step up.
Schmidt is tired and stressed, and he is finding it difficult to keep up with the new lies he has to tell for each question.
I am telling the truth now.
What's that mean?
Yeah.
See, here we go. Here we go. All right. I'll take some leave. I've had enough.
Yeah, I've been at this for too long.
I promise you, just as sure as I'm sitting here, you're going to get slammed on this. Because you're letting us leave this room knowing there's something in the back of your head going, oh, God, I should have told them about that. Or, oh, I hope they don't find out about that. Who knows how we find out
I
about
ain't
stuff?
talking about nothing because I never did anything with her.
Dude, you have
like
been
that.
sitting in here. Wait, what'd you just say?
Nothing like that.
Like what? What's that? Explain
Like
it.
you were just saying, like
What?
trying to do laser to clean up, finding stuff underneath their nails, or anything like that.
All I'm saying is that the way you said that she was shot, if that's not true, those lasers are going to prove it. And you ain't, it's like a fingerprint. You ain't got a leg to stand on in court. You're screwed. That's where I think you're not telling me the truth, how she got shot. And you can either tell us now what really happened, or we can just wait till tomorrow. And again, you can make all these people do all this extra work when, like he said, man up, tell the truth, let the DA's office know that, you know what, it's horrible, it's bad, it happened, but I'm trying to look at my future. Who do you think who do you think is the worst person that goes to court? Somebody that lies and lies, and then it's proven in court that they lie because they sit up and go, I don't know. I don't know why I told those investigators she touched a gun. I don't know why I told them about that rag. I don't know why I told them all that. Dude, the judge, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. He's going to slam you for that. Oh, you don't know? Well, let me give you some time to think about it. Sure you know. You know why you've been lying all night. It's to cover something up. And we haven't uncovered that. If it was the truth, you would have never told all these lies. That makes sense. Why did you tell the investigators that she touched the gun? Why did you put that gun in her hands?
Put it in her hands.
Why did you make the investigators think that her fingerprints were going to be on the gun that shot her in the head and killed her?
So make it look like. So make it look like she was involved in it, but she was involved in it, but she didn't touch it.
Then why tell the investigators she touched it?
I have no clue why I said that. Even though I shouldn't have said it, but I don't know why I said it.
Well, after I come in and said there wasn't any fingerprints on the gun, why did you make up the story about the rag?
Well, about the kitchen rag?
Yeah. The rag that didn't exist before I proved that her prints wasn't on the gun. Yeah, the rag you didn't tell them about till I come in and said her prints ain't on the gun. That rag. Why'd you make that lie up?
No, before anything, that's what I first said them. Told them that before I was messing around with it, well, not before, I was still messing with it, and I was playing around with it, still trying to get that bullet out of it, see if it was loaded or not. So it didn't budge. So I went in the kitchen and grabbed a kitchen towel, and I was doing it
Where'd you lay the gun down at?
on on that little table.
What was she doing?
She was still on Facebook,
Okay, why did you go get a dish rag?
so I can see if I can like not grip. I want to say grip.
But you didn't tell him that the first time.
There is no good explanation for Schmidt's lies, and he knows that everything points to his guilt. He is doing everything he can to avoid admitting it outright.
You didn't tell him that the first time. But you know what? I got the rag. I got the rag. Right? You believe me?
I don't know. I can't say no or yes.
Does the rag exist?
Yes.
I have a rag. It was on the stove. You said you went to get the rag. When you were fooling around with the gun, you decided to get the rag because of why?
Then try to see if it will help it loosen up. If anything
Give it more
stuck
grip? Okay.
Try to see if it got stuck underneath it.
Was the rag on the gun when it went off?
No, I took it off because it wasn't helping, and I took it off and I went and put it in the dirty the laundry basket, and I was still messing with it.
Woo! I thought you left it on top of the stove.
What?
The rag. You
No,
left
when
it.
I got done with it, I went and took it and put it in the dirty camper.
How to get from the dirty clothes hamper back to the stove?
What?
You told the other investigators that at some point you put the rag back on the kitchen stove. That's where we found the rag, on the kitchen stove. Are you now saying you put...
I said I found the rag on the kitchen stove. Yes, I
Okay,
said that.
okay.
I never did say anything about putting it back
Okay.
on there.
Okay, so once you figured out it wouldn't help you do what you needed to do with the
I
gun...
just took it and put it in the dirty clothes basket. That's all I did.
Where
with
was-
Okay, then you walk back in to where she was at the computer.
Yeah, and I picked up the gun again. I was still fooling around with it. So I decided if it may need to be a little bit manhandle, I went to go grab it and go pull it back as hard as I could. And I accidentally pulled my hand on the trigger without knowing, and it went off.
Where's the clothes basket at that you put the rag?
In the bathroom.
And here's the thing you've got to understand, and we're about done. You can't put a rag on a gun and not be some kind of trace evidence.
Yes, sir.
All right? We're going to take every rag that's in that clothes hamper. Which clothes hamper and where's it at?
In the bathroom and the back bathroom.
In the back bathroom. We're going to take those rags, and I can't do it tonight. If we don't find some type of gun oil, your skin, because you can't touch anything, but you watch CSI, you know how all that works. Well, half of that stuff, most of it is true. If there's not a rag in that basket that's got some kind of residue from that gun where you were juking and jiving on it, that's another lie. So you need to tell me right now if you want to take and waste my time looking for a rag that don't exist. Because I'm telling you, and you know, if you put your hands on that rag and especially wrap it around a firearm, there's going to be some kind of residue. You said you put it in a clothes hamper. There's people there at the house now. There'll be people there all night and tomorrow. I'm going to call them and tell them to go to the clothes hamper. Get every piece of rag out of there, everything. You might have misinterpreted a t-shirt for a rag. We're going to check every piece of cloth in that basket. We ain't going to find nothing, are we?
All I know is white. Whatever I grabbed it and I just jerked it back.
So there's a rag in that dirty clothes hamper that
Yes,
you
sir.
used to do that gun with.
Yes, sir. I ain't lying about that.
And it's white.
Yeah.
Might not be a dish towel. Might not be a washcloth.
It's just white. That's all I
But it was on top of the kitchen stove. That's where you got it.
Yes, sir.
So it might be a white t-shirt or something. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I don't. It may not. All
You
I
don't
did
know.
is grab it and I just put it on there. I was just jerking it back.
So you don't really know what it was.
All I did is grab it and I thought it may be a towel or a rag. And all I did is grab it and I was jerking it back. I ain't trying to say if it was or wasn't. Because all I know it was on the
or
stove.
what?
A towel or a dish rag.
You
This
don't know
is
what it
white.
was.
It's
Yeah.
white.
And that's all. And I just grabbed it and I was just jerking it backwards.
Why didn't you call 911?
Hmm?
Why didn't you call 911 after she was shot in the head?
Because there was no phone.
Sure, there are phones in the house. There's 2 cordless and a cell phone in the house.
There was no cell phone.
Dude, there's
There's a
2
cordless phone.
phones in the house.
There's phone. There's no phone connections. They cut it off.
You can still dial 911.
I didn't know that. But when I heard that they cut off phone, it's off for good.
She don't have a cell phone?
No, sir.
She don't have one.
No, sir. Only Amanda. But Amanda's on top of the road already.
Schmidt would have already had an explanation ready for why he couldn't call for help, as he knew that question would have come up even if his original story had been believed.
Waiting for Chase to get off the bus.
Did you see her grabbing the curtains?
Huh?
Don't hum me. You heard me. Did you see her grabbing the curtains after you shot her?
And I was just waiting and seeing if she was all right. And I was just shaking her and seeing if she was all right. And she and just quit moving.
Why did you drag her out of the house? Why didn't you run out of the room as fast as you can down the road? Amanda! Amanda! Oh my God! Oh my God, Amanda! Why didn't you do that?
Because I didn't want to get in trouble with them and their relationship with me and my family. I didn't want to ruin that.
You're so full of crap.
No, it's not full of crap.
Yes, you are.
So, what you've done is not reversible. You've shot her. That's not reversible. You're not God, and you can't make it and take it back. How did you think dragging her into the woods was going to somehow cover up what you did? Oh, that's right. You made up the lie about the intruder. Why'd you do all that?
So it don't look like all the fingers would point at me. And now it just countered back and it did. It made me feel awful.
You shot her.
I
You
didn't
should
mean
feel
to.
awful. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for word. I'm gonna tell you what, Phil.
So you're sitting here telling me that I shot her on purpose.
No.
Because I didn't mean to. It was
No,
all
no,
an
no, no, no.
accident.
No, no, no,
You
no,
said
no.
it didn't. It wasn't.
Are you gonna let me finish, please? I did not say you shot her on purpose. I said you have not told us the entire truth about what happened. Whatever that truth may be, I don't know. But you've not told us the entire truth about this whole story.
How far past the burn pile did you throw the gun?
You know where there's this. Where the
There's
truck
this.
is
What
sit-
is this?
Where the truck is sitting.
When I went out there, the truck is parked right here.
Yes.
Lana was down there. Truck's parked right here. You got a path that goes up
Yes,
that way
go
and a path that goes down that way.
Path that's beside the truck.
Going down the hill or going straight out in front of it?
Going straight out.
All right, so how
No.
far out? Don't sit here and
There's-
jerk me around,
No.
dude.
You
It's
want
too
to draw a
late at
picture?
night.
You want to draw a picture?
If I can, if you don't mind.
You done had the chalkboard in here.
They
That
took
ain't
it
help.
out.
Well, it didn't help when it was in here.
Man, it's hotter than my love life in here.
That was the case. I ought to have icicles in here. No, you ain't got to draw it to scale. Just
Yeah,
tell me
dude.
where it's at.
Well, you see where the truck is? There's another trail
Give me a pen.
right behind the house. Where there's a lawn on this side, but the other path is right here on the other side of the truck. On the right hand of the truck.
What is that?
A lawn.
Okay. So this is the house. You're facing the house like this. All right. You come up, and that's where the girl parked back here with the truck. Right?
Yes, sir.
You got a path that goes up this way and a path that goes down the hill that way. Where's it at?
You talking about where there's like a little tree?
Look here, dude. Don't jerk me around. There's 1,000 trees out there. The truck is parked here.
Yes, sir.
There's a path that goes up that way towards your house, right?
Yes, sir.
There's a path that goes down the hill that way.
Yes, sir.
Where is the
That
gun?
way, and it's ditched off on that side.
How far down?
All I did is throw it in there.
How far down were you when you threw it?
I just went barely in the middle of the
So
trail.
you went right here?
Yes, sir.
Or were you down here? Or were you down here?
No, I was right up here.
So how far down?
Just right there where you're pointing.
All right, and so did you rear back and throw it like Tom Glavine, or
No,
did
I
you just
grab it and just toss it in?
Slung it.
Yeah, like that.
Schmidt is comfortable telling them where he hid the gun, since he doesn't believe it contradicts his earlier statements.
I'm about to have enough of you.
Yeah.
You've been lying for about 4 hours.
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are.
You've lied all night.
Yes,
dude.
you are.
You've lied
I
all
know
night.
And the only thing you're concerned about is the possibility of you having to go to RYDC.
Tonight. You ain't even thinking about down the
You
road.
got a young dead girl out there that was supposedly your friend, and the only thing that you're concerned about is going to RYDC. What kind of coward are you? Why don't you stand up and say, you know, this is what the hell happened? You know, you've been jerking people around for 4 hours, and we're still catching you in lies.
I'm not lying, though.
Yes, you are.
Not right now. No, I'm not.
Oh, not right now.
No,
3.5
No, this last story I just said.
3.5 hours later, you're supposedly miraculously done found the truth. You gonna expect me to believe that crap?
Why'd you lie to us for 3.5 hours anyway? Why?
Oh, so it wouldn't make him look like he done all this. Oh, I didn't want their family to be mad at me, so I drug her out there and threw her in the woods.
You're going to regret the day. You got tunnel vision. You're thinking about only 2 and 3 hours ahead of time. You are going to regret the day that you let me and this man walk out of this room without telling us the truth.
I'm telling y'all the truth.
No, you're not. You're not telling us everything. No, you're not. And I'll guarantee you my paycheck, when that body is done an autopsy on it, the way you said that she was shot will be proven wrong by the very people that you like to watch on TV, and that's the people that are going to crucify you in court. When you had the chance to sit here and tell me and this man what happened. No, I'm going to keep lying because I don't believe eventually when 11 o'clock comes tomorrow that they will have her and they will do an autopsy and they will have all that stuff. You know good and well that shooting didn't happen the way you said it did because you've lied too much about it. If it happened the way you said it did, you would have cut right to it 3 hours ago. You've dicked us around and told us so many lies. I wouldn't believe you if you sat here and told me you're wearing a silver chain. If it's the truth, then why lie about it so much? Why lie? This is what happened. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's it. There ain't no more I can tell you. 3 hours later, we're still getting lies from you. That's why I don't think you've told us everything. You've not. Something happened in that house that only you, the good Lord in heaven, and that dead girl knows. And mister, if you can walk out of this room with that on your conscience, trust me, you worried about what's going to happen to you tonight, trust me, in about 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to wish to God you'd finally broke down, finally manned up, and said, you know what? Damn. Here it is. By God, this is what happened. Whatever it was, it happened. I don't know. You've told us lies for a reason.
You read you like a book.
Told us lies for a reason. To throw us off of the truth. You tell a lie to cover up the truth.
10-7.
You're going to regret the day that you let us leave this room with these issues not cleared up. Trust me.
It's going to come back to bite you. Bite you hard.
Disgusted and tired of his lies, the investigators bring the interrogation to a close. Aaron Schmidt was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Several years later, he appealed his sentence, but it was upheld. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, there is a Patreon link in the description where you can support the channel further. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.